When you pull a crossbow back on Bedrock in first person, you can see part of your hand. On Java, you cannot see any of your hand, which means you don't have hands on Java. In Bedrock, you can place snow underneath flowers, and you can use bone meal on flowers to make them spread. On Java, neither of these things are possible. But what's possible on Java is climbing up a trapdoor ladder, and on Bedrock it appears you can't even place ladders on trapdoors. I've always hated running over soul sand without blocks. There's no reason for it to be this slow. But on Bedrock, if you sprint jump over soul sand, it just isn't slow. And I think this has something to do with the absolutely amazing running animation on Bedrock. Who doesn't run like this in real life? In Bedrock, blocks that emit light glow on your hotbar. In Java, they don't. In Bedrock, when you have view bobbing on, you get to see a lot of bobbing. Java lets you view less bobbing, but there's still bobbing. Shift-clicking blocks in your inventory has an animation on Bedrock. There is no animation for this on Java. In Bedrock, scaffolding looks different in your inventory than it does on Java, and holding an item in Bedrock is slightly angled, but in Java it's perfectly straight. You might be inclined to go for a swim while wearing an elytra, and unfortunately in Bedrock, your elytra will deactivate if you go into water, but on Java it actually remains activated for whatever reason. Now that you're underwater though, you can grow some coral with bone meal, but only in a warm ocean on Java, although this works in every biome on Bedrock. After that, you can steal some aquatic mobs and experiment on them by giving them water breathing. In Bedrock, they will survive on land with water breathing, and on Java, they will do the opposite of that. You might have also bucketed an axolotl while you were in the water, and this is what the name of your axolotl will look like on Java, and this is what the name looks like on Bedrock. They got bro's whole government name, social security number, address. If you prefer setting mobs on fire rather than suffocating them, mobs turn orange and red while on fire in Bedrock, but they only blink red in Java. You can also place a bunch of mobs in a small area in Java to start killing them, but on Bedrock they just won't die. You can create a cannon with mobs on Bedrock though, so they both have their positives and negatives. Similar to the detailed axolotl bucket, switching to an enchanted item on Bedrock will actually show you all the enchantments. On Java, however, you actually have to hover over it in your inventory to see what enchantments they have. In Bedrock, books display 2 pages at a time instead of just 1 on Java edition, and if you write anything offensive in your book on Bedrock, it will become censored. This can also happen on signs, renaming items, pretty much everything where you can type. On Java, you can type freely though. In Java edition, if you cover up your bed with a bunch of blocks, the bed will become obstructed and it will just respawn you at the world's spawn point. But in Bedrock, you can encase your bed in an indestructible vault, and you will still respawn within the area of your bed. If you name a big slime in Java edition and then kill it, the slimes that it splits into will still have the same name. On Bedrock, if you do this, the smaller slimes do not carry over the name. It just becomes forgotten. In Bedrock, animals like horses slowly grow up into an adult, but on Java, the change just happens instantly. You can then ride your horse on Java, and your hunger bar and XP bar get replaced with the horse's health and jump bar, but on Bedrock, the XP bar only gets replaced when you are jumping. Otherwise, you can still see how much XP you have. In Bedrock, hearts move down when you have regeneration, and on Java, for some reason, it's the opposite. Hearts move up. You also can't eat food in peaceful mode when your hunger bar is full on Java, but for some reason you are able to eat as much food as you want in peaceful mode on Bedrock. In Bedrock, having a parrot on your shoulder will prevent you from going through a nether portal, but in Java, the parrot will actually go through to the nether with you. Oh, whoops. Looks like I forgot something in the overworld. If you want to place a torch on top of a honey block, you cannot do this on Java, but it is possible to do this in Bedrock. Useful information for bees. And the new vibrant visuals is actually available on Bedrock, but not on Java. It will be available on Java soon though, but the difference here is that Bedrock seems to get everything first before Java gets it. When you kill a ghast with its own fireball on Bedrock, it will turn orange. You also probably noticed that a ghast's eyes and mouth kind of glow when shooting a fireball on Bedrock, but in Java, it just remains red and boring. Punching a pufferfish in Bedrock makes it puff up, but in Java it does nothing. Punching a pufferfish should really make your hand puff up because of the swelling. It would hurt. In Java, if you fall in the void in creative mode, you die. Bro really died in creative mode. But in Bedrock, if you fall in the void, you can just walk on the void. This is just solid ground. You can also get this warning message for building down here in Bedrock. Java doesn't need to warn you though. It expects you to know this. In Bedrock, dyeing the water in cauldrons is an option, and it's what you use to dye leather armor, instead of crafting dyed leather armor like you do in Java. If you want to dye your Enderman, unfortunately it will just teleport away on Bedrock, but dyeing your Enderman on Java would be possible if you could put dye in cauldrons. But do not worry. worry, cause while Bedrock doesn't allow you to die Endermen, you can die shulkers in Bedrock. Kinda the same concept as giving your dog a tattoo. You can just permanently change the color of a shulker while it's still alive. Also, if you play Bedrock and you really hate shulkers, you can just shove a chest inside of a shulker using a piston. Now you are just using your died shulker as a decoration on top of your chest. Java Edition unfortunately cares about shulkers, and you have to find different ways to harm them instead. You might have noticed I placed a lever on the side of a piston. You can't do this on Java without breaking it off. But Java might have destructible levers, but you can't destroy rails on Java. Not like that. You can't destroy rails with water on Java, but you can on Bedrock. Dogs in Bedrock can eat fish, but dogs on Java hate fish and only eat the finest of cuisine. And you are actually able to damage your vision by looking at the sun in Bedrock. This is why eye tests are available in Bedrock, and you can even get glasses for your player. Now I'm gonna show you some features that are only in Bedrock, but will probably be added to Java soon. In Bedrock, leaves change color when it's snowing. In Bedrock, you can find vines growing randomly on any type of tree. Water has different colors in Bedrock depending on the biome you are in. You can even get red water in the Nether, the most useful thing I've seen so far. And that's it. That's the only things from my list that I can see getting added to Java. In Java Edition, if you blow a mob up that can drop a head with a charged creeper, it will drop the head 100% of the time. But this only works with one mob at a time, but on Bedrock, you can blow up multiple mobs and get all of their heads at once. If you ever wanted to ride a boat through a wall, unfortunately that's not going to happen on Java Edition, but you can place some slabs at the bottom of a wall like this, and then boat through it just fine on Bedrock. In Bedrock, you can give items to armor stands. Originally, I thought you could do this on Java. I was disappointed to find out that you can't. And you can also name an armor stand Dinner Bone to turn it upside down on Bedrock. I'm starting to think Bedrock may actually be better, which is why I will showcase the difference between bridging on Bedrock and Java. This has just never made any sense to me how this is possible on Bedrock. It feels like something out of a Roblox game. In Bedrock, you can ride a skeleton horse without a saddle. You can't even ride a skeleton horse at all on Java. I really thought you could. There is still a Farlands in Bedrock 17 million blocks out. It works a little differently than the Java Farlands that was removed. This one is even more glitchy. Bedrock has a zoom out animation when you die, while on Java you just die. There's no animation. And on Bedrock, a baby villager's head is massive. Baby villagers must be a lot dumber on Java. The wither on Bedrock is actually a lot more powerful than it is on Java. That is because the Bedrock Wither has double the HP, and it glows white when it's spawned. The white doesn't make it any more OP. If you ever wanted to waterboard a phantom, you will be sad to find out that phantoms don't take water damage on Java. But if you play Bedrock, I have good news. Phantoms can actually drown on Bedrock. You can also light yourself on fire in Bedrock, and then use it to light candles and campfires with your body. Java doesn't have this option though. And Java also doesn't have the option to light these things using a fire aspect book like Bedrock does. But something Java does have that Bedrock doesn't is furnace minecarts. Yeah, this item just doesn't exist on Bedrock. If you get a regular minecart on Bedrock and put an iron golem in it, you can see that it works. But on Java, an iron golem is a little too big for a minecart. You also gotta make sure that your iron golem doesn't get trapped inside of the rails, as mobs on Java do not walk over rails. Java really just has superior rails, I guess. These things can block off mobs and restrict water. Bedrock has the superior leads though, as you can attach leads to entities like boats, which isn't a thing on Java. And they also just look super cool compared to the ones on Java. Leads can also be attached to walls on Bedrock, but this only works on fences in Java. And you may also notice that the wall item itself looks different on Bedrock than it does on Java. This is because... well, I don't know why it's like this actually. You can also look at iron bars on Bedrock and notice that they are a lot more symmetrical than they are on Java. And bubble columns look completely different between the two editions as well. I'm gonna say that Java wins this one. The bubble column looks way more natural. In Java, if you spawn a wandering trader spawns. But in Bedrock, if you spawn a wandering trader, it comes with 2 llamas at no extra cost. Bedrock always has the best deals. You can place a candle on top of melons and pumpkins to give them a stem, or you can use a sea pickle depending on how big you want it to be. You can also make a pineapple by putting this vine thing on top of a shroom light like this, and if you want to build a cake, you can place a piece of dirt and put some snow on top, and then you can add redstone on the top as a strawberry. This cake probably tastes really bad though, it's made out of dirt. Apparently fish barrels are real, and you can make a salmon barrel with a raw copper block and some trapdoors on the side. Or you can change it out for a raw iron block if you want to make a cod barrel instead. Another type of barrel is a honey barrel, and this time I'm actually actually not sure what that is. I've never heard of a honey barrel before. If you want to make your dinner table look more realistic, you can place a pressure plate on top of an item frame and place some food in it to look like a plate like this. And you can even add some condiments on the table and place some sea pickles on the side, which kind of look like cups. So much detail just for you to eat all the food in 2 seconds. If you have a dog, you can build a small doghouse by placing 5 trapdoors like this with a couple more trapdoors on the top. And you can even place a dog bowl on the side to give him something to drink. Another dog bowl you can do is this design using a decorated pot, and pairing them together looks like both food and drink. If you don't have a dog, you might have a cat, and there's also a cool cat structure you can build. First, place a scaffolding and trapdoors like this, add some fences on the back, and then place a couple carpets on top, and then you have a nice place for your cat to live. You might also have a parrot, in which you can also give a house. Well, sort of. In order to do this build, you have to push a piece of glass over top of the parrot, which is probably seen as animal cruelty. So something you can do that is less cruel is this bird bath, which uses a waterlogged slab and some signs on the side. Or you can place a hanging sign like this as a parrot perch. You are also able to use a bell if you don't think the hanging sign looks good enough. And you can also build a cage, which is slightly less evil, and it's built using fences like this, a slab and a trapdoor on top, and a chain and scaffolding attached underneath. This build also exceeds the build size limit for this video, but I'm just gonna let it slide because it looks pretty cool. The last build in the pets category is this snail, which I'm not really sure if it counts as a pet. Snails are also really slow, so the fact that it doesn't move might actually not matter. Something that for some reason isn't in Minecraft is balloons, but with a colored block, a fence, and a little animal cruelty, it is actually possible to have balloons in Minecraft. Another thing that is also not in Minecraft is hot springs, but that can be changed by placing some trapdoors and some campfires underneath a pool of water. You can also do the same technique by placing campfires under lava to get some smoky lava, and this time you don't even need the trapdoors. I would be careful when swimming in this one though, because it might be a little too hot. If you're tired of how the regular TNT looks, or just scared of building with it in case something like this happens, then you can actually place a barrel like this and put some signs on the side that say TNT to make an old looking block of TNT. You can even highlight the signs in white to make the text stand out and add a candle on top to look like a fuse. If you aren't afraid of using TNT to build, you can also place a bunch of TNT like this and then put some candles on top, and they will kind of look like individual dynamite sticks. You can even light them if you want, but just be careful you don't accidentally misclick. If you do set off the TNT by accident, it might be possible you need to build a grave, and luckily you can do that with 3 puzzle blocks like this, an anvil, a skull of your choice, and a couple of flowers, and then you have a tiny gravestone for whoever died as a result of your TNT accident. Another random build hack is this super thin ladder, which is just a ladder placed on trapdoors, and something really cool you can do is place trapdoors alternating like this with ladders on each of them, and you can make a 1-block spaced working ladder. These tiki torches, which you can make using bamboo fences, and if you want to add some extra detail, you can attach a mob with a lead to the top, but obviously you will have to. You can also make one of those bulrush things that are found in swamps, and if you want to make corn, you can place a bamboo fence on top of 2 bamboo sticks instead. You can also place some bamboo fences alongside some real bamboo to make it look like dead bamboo, and you can even take it a step further with some oak fences which look extra dead. If you want to sell some bamboo on the black market, you can place some signs around the bamboo blocks and it will look like it's packaged up, or you can also stack a bunch of bamboo rafts to make a pile of bamboo. Another cool thing you can do with bamboo is place an item frame underneath a bamboo button to make a block of cheese, but this is probably some pretty moldy cheese. There are a lot of things you can make with a decorated pot, such as this pillar design, this tiny lamp, or this palm tree, which you can even mix with some of the different designs to look like carvings in the wood. But something really cool you can do with these pots is if you place one of these in the ground and then you put a carpet on top of it, it kind of looks like a pet bowl for your dog or your cat or your person. You can also place a pot underneath a moss carpet, and depending on what's around you, it can either look like an anthill or a landmine. If you place these pots with a bunch of gold, they kind of look like money bags, and if you place them with some TNT and then light a candle on top of it, it kind of looks like a bomb that's about to explode. Speaking of bombs, you can also hang one of these pots from a chain and then put a campfire under it like this, and it kind of looks like a cooking pot. You can also build a faucet type thing coming out of the ground and then place a glass pane in a pot underneath it to make it look like it's being filled up with water. Another cool thing you can do is place some pots in a palm tree and they will look like coconuts. And you can place place a pot as a base for a streetlight like this, or you can even place it at the bottom of some bushes, which looks slightly better than a cauldron. You can also place a couple of these pots on top of a house, and if you combine this with some cobwebs, it actually looks like a chimney. But one of the most interesting uses for these pots is to make a punching bag that you are actually able to use in game. Okay, you can't really use it, but you also can't tell me I'm not punching it. Now obviously those hacks are cool, but it's time to show you some of the most illegal build hacks known to man. If you apply this armor trim to a leather helmet and then place it one block deep on an armor stand, you can use a piston to push a bookshelf through it, and it kind of looks like a stray book sitting on top of the shelf. Another thing you can do is dig out a big hole and then fill the whole thing with string, and after that you can do a little bit of animal cruelty and cover the whole thing up with carpets to get this rug design. Huh, that's weird. It looks like my rug is moving. Something else you can do with the sniffer is you can place some blocks through a sniffer's nose and then add a slab and some signs on the side to get a really interesting cushion design. Or if you're really ballin', you can use a sniffer's snout as a base to make a golden sink. Another thing you can do with a sniffer's nose is you can place it in the roof and then put a couple of fences and an end rod underneath it to make a lamp. Okay, this one was kind of a stretch. You can still see his face. Something you can do with a camel is you can place its head through a roof and it kind of looks like one of those bear heads you see on a wall in some rich guy's house. And you can also spawn a camel on the ground and then place some sand over top of its head to make it kind of look like a little sand dune coming out of the ground. You can even place a saddle on top of the camel to make it so you can sit down on the beach with a towel beneath you. Now those were definitely some illegal build hacks, but they still aren't the best build hacks in this video. This is a pumpkin, this is a melon, and this is an eggplant. Okay, it's not actually an eggplant, it's cherry wood with a sea pickle on top, but it actually looks pretty close. Another melon trick you can do is place bamboo planks with glow lichen beside a pumpkin, and it kind of looks like a dead pumpkin. Also, if you place a bamboo block in a field of melons, it kind of looks like some kind of squash. Everyone has seen these trapdoors being used as a fence, but you can actually use a hanging sign to make a pretty cool fence as well. Speaking of hanging signs, you can do some really cool things with them, such as this one-way door, which works by hanging a sign from the top and then hanging another sign underneath it. You can also make a little doggy door on the side of your house like this, or you can place it in front of your brand new cherry wood doghouse as well. Staying on the topic of farming, you can place two fences in the air like this, and if you place a hanging sign underneath it, it will look like a shovel that is sticking out of the dirt. You can also replace these fences with lightning rods or end rods to make different types of handles as well. If you want to make a table, you can place some hanging signs like this to make table feet, and you can even make the table legs a bit longer if you like things that are longer. Hanging signs can also be used to make a broken jungle bridge or a useless ladder, depending on how you see it. And you can place them in a pattern like this to look like a gate that is restricting your access to something. Something I bet you've never seen is a stoplight in Minecraft. Okay, you've probably seen one, I just didn't know what to say, but by placing a red sign, an oak sign, and a blue sign like this, it can kind of look like a stoplight even though two of the colors are wrong. Another thing you can do with the different sign colors is hang them over top of a campfire like this to make different stages of meat cooking. But probably the most interesting hanging sign hack is this parrot perch design. I'm just kidding, it's actually a working swing which can be made using two chains like this, a hanging sign on each side, a trapdoor on the bottom middle, and then a boat as a seat. And after you do that, you have a working swing. Well, you can't really swing on it, but I mean I'm sitting on it, so it kinda works. You can also make another swing by doing the same thing as before, except instead of placing one trapdoor, you place 3 on the bottom and then 3 on the back to get another really cool swing design. This time you aren't able to sit on it. If you're trying to be some type of supervillain, all you have to do is place some redstone behind one of the chiseled bookshelves, and then you can attach a couple regular bookshelves to some sticky pistons to make a secret door inside of your library. Something else you can do with chiseled bookshelves is build a cool floor design like this, and you can even make the bookshelf look like eyes when you put a slab in front of it. If you place the bookshelf with a stone slab in a cave, it kinda looks like something is staring at you through a crack in the wall, but that isn't the coolest thing you can do with the chiseled bookshelf. If you place a bunch of bookshelves beside each other, you can actually build things using the books inside of the bookshelves. I guess suspicious sand isn't the only thing that's sus in this update. Minecraft 1.20 adds a piglin head, and what can you do with it? Well, to start, you can place it on top of an armor stand, but that's boring. Instead, if you want a piglin in the overworld, you can place a piglin head on top of a sign, and it will kind of look like a tiny piglin. And if you really want to be him, you can make a hanging sign float, attach 2 signs on the side, and then add a banner on the back and a piglin head on top to create the boss piglin. His outfit kind of looks like Lord Farquaad. If you want to build some tiny birds, you probably wouldn't think of using a piglin head, but because of the floppy ears, it actually kinda looks like birds in the sky. Of course, you have to make sure not to look at the other side though. If you place a piglin head on the ground and then put a bunch of redstone around it, it looks like a piglin was just decapitated. And if you take it a step further, you can build up with some fences and place some chains and hang a red sign under it to make it look like a guillotine just chopped off its head. Have you ever wanted to build a giant snail? You probably haven't. But you can by placing a cherry slab, a sideways cherry log, and a nether brick wall with a couple of candles on the top. Now we have giant snails to go with our giant spiders. Another giant animal you can build with cherry wood is a pig. If you place two upside down stairs like this and add some slabs on the top, you get a pig. You can then add a button on each side for eyes and a cherry button for a nose and a tail for extra detail. Speaking of pigs, you can also make pork with cherry wood. If you place a sideways cherry log and then attach it to two fences using chains, it kinda looks like a piece of ham is being cooked over a fire. Another cool cherry wood build is this garden fence, which can be made using an illegal trapdoor technique that I didn't even know existed. You can even climb this thing if you try hard enough, so that's cool. Another thing you can put in your garden is a cherry tree, but not that one is lame. If you use cherry fences as logs and pair it with azalea leaves, you can make a really cool looking miniature tree. Something else that looks cool is this trapdoor window, which you can make using bamboo or cherry wood trapdoors depending on your build. In Minecraft 1.20, a pink boat will be added, but if you think this design is boring, you can actually make your own pink boat instead. If you place some slabs in the water like this and then add a fence in the middle, you can move two boats as close to the fence as possible and then add some trapdoors on the side and a flag on the top to make a better looking boat. The only problem is this boat doesn't really move. If you place a netherite upgrade in an item frame, you can use it as an up or down arrow for like an elevator or something, I don't really know. This single warden who really wants to kill me but he can't, so he does this, which is cool and all, but it isn't satisfying. So what will happen if I spawn 100 wardens and have them do the same thing? Oh my god, I'm pretty sure I went so high that it bounced me. And sure, that was satisfying, but not as satisfying as cutting down bamboo in this bamboo-only world, which I actually can't stop doing. And what's even more insane is watching this from above, just like covering the entire world in Skulk, which you can do with the help of a couple million Ravagers and a Skulk Catalyst. And now we wait as the entire world turns into Skulk. Wait, I wonder what would happen if I added even more of these. Okay, I think I broke it. There's a literal Ravager fountain coming from the sky. Oh my god. This is a chest full of random materials, which if placed a bunch of times like this, you can break all the chests and watch all the items fall out, which looks pretty nice. But the best part of this isn't the items falling, it's picking them up, which sounds super satisfying. I could literally do this for hours. Something else you can do is place a bunch of shulkers full of netherite above a lava pool, and then when you break them, this happens. And if you use a command block to place an infinite block like this, and then you use another command block to give yourself a 1 durability pickaxe every tick, you can infinitely break pickaxes, which makes this very satisfying sound. Uh-oh, I think I'm sick. I'm throwing up pickaxes. This is working quicksand in Minecraft, which can be made using this secret formula. First, you place some soul sand on the bottom, then you place some water above, and then you place some cobwebs on top of all that, and after that, you need to just place some sand on top that's ready to be dropped in. And now you can drop the sand and watch it all fall into place, which is pretty satisfying. After that, you have a working quicksand that you can't escape. But that's not the most satisfying part. If you remove the cobwebs like this, and then drop some more sand on the top, you can make this really cool bubbling effect, which looks like it doesn't even belong in the game. This effect can also be used in a square like this, which looks pretty nice, especially when all the sand and gravel breaks at the end. Or you can drop a line of sand and gravel like this, which kind of looks like a worm when it first drops. Another thing I found that looks pretty cool is this concrete powder turning to concrete like this, and I also tried it in a line, which looks pretty nice as well. This is a village that has a massive amount of dripstone above it, which is already kind of cool to look at, and I'm going to be dropping the dripstone on the village using this machine here. Oh my god, I think my PC is going to explode. Hopefully it looks good on replay, because I literally can't see anything. Okay, somehow we actually had a couple of survivors this time, but I'm going to add a layer of anvils, sand, and gravel to drop on the village as well. And now let's spawn Timothy. Hopefully he survives. Okay, first let's drop the anvils. That was much less laggy. Now let's add some sand. It's looking like Bikini Bottom down there. And finally the gravel. Okay, there's no way Timothy survived all that. Oh wait, he's actually right here. Honestly, doing that had me feeling like I was 9 years old again, so let's try some things we all did as kids in Minecraft. First, I'm going to be burning down a forest. Okay, this is taking forever. I guess I have to do it the old-fashioned way. Now that's some good forest burning. What about blowing up a ton of TNT? I think this was a mistake. If you make a box like this, and then place a repeating command block to spawn zombies, you can make an infinitely dying zombie. That's not what I meant to do. What you can actually do is spawn a bunch of zombies inside of the box, and then you can kill them all with a sweeping edge 100 sword, and it's honestly pretty satisfying. I wonder what happens if we make the box even bigger. Okay, that was so much better. Another satisfying way to kill a bunch of mobs is with a piercing crossbow. But this crossbow isn't gonna cut it. It only killed 4 of them. We need a max piercing crossbow. Alright, and let's kill the villagers in 3, 2, 1... Okay, it didn't reach the end, but we'll just pretend it did. What happens if you break these plants that go up to sky limit? It's literally raining twisted vines. Now let's do the cactus. Okay, that one actually looked kind of nice. What about the sugar cane? Whatever this thing is. And finally, bamboo. Bamboo definitely has my favorite sound out of these. But something that might sound better is a massive dripstone hitting the ground. Okay, let's just use this genius redstone timer to make sure we don't miss the sound. And now we fall all the way to the bottom. I like how it just gets faster the more that fall. Apparently if you place a bunch of end crystals inside of each other, it looks really satisfying. But it doesn't seem to be working for me, so I guess we have to use a command block. I think we placed them on the wrong block, but it's definitely working. This thing actually looks so cool. I can't believe this is in Minecraft. Wait, I wonder what happens if we touch it. For this next one, let's build a giant cactus farm. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just watching them pop up all over the place is really satisfying. Another satisfying thing we can do is place skulk sensors in a row like this, and then we can fill all the empty slots up with TNT. And now finally, if we drop an item on it, it makes this really cool pulsing effect. Oh yeah, I forgot it would all blow up. For this next experiment, we are going to need a massive pyramid, so let's build that. Okay, that literally took me almost 30 minutes and I didn't even finish it. But now what we can do is place water in the middle and watch it all flow down the pyramid. Was that worth the 30-minute wait? Probably not. We can also drain all the water as well, but it's definitely not as satisfying as watching it flow down the pyramid. Earlier, we dropped a bunch of anvils on a village, but I wonder what it would look like if we dropped it on a regular world. Okay, it kinda just started. I didn't mean for that to happen. But yeah, that was still pretty cool. Now let's take a break from experiments and check out some of the most satisfying maps in Minecraft. These are 7 colored rings made by Bosca Winks, and when you fly through them one after another, it's actually really cool to look at. Just like this massive spiral made by Amy Oak, which looks especially cool if you fly through it with an elytra like this. This is an island in the shape of a Mobius strip that was also made by Amy Oak, which I honestly have no idea how it works, but it's definitely really satisfying to look at. And another thing that I don't understand is this Penrose triangle made by Alascata, which also looks really cool from far away. Wait, I wonder what will happen if I turn it to sand. These next 3 builds were made by Adamax EP, and these are more like illusions, but they are still really satisfying to look at, especially this one, which will probably make you dizzy if you spin fast enough. If you put a Jeb name tag on a sheep, it makes it rainbow, so I wonder what will happen if I make a big pit and fill it with Jeb sheep. This is pretty normal. I see this every day in survival. Okay, now this is insane. You can barely even tell that there are sheep in the hole. Next, let's create a sand-only world and see what happens. Oh wait, I have to break the block first. There's a short amount of time before it becomes way too laggy. So now let's make it laggier with concrete. This would probably look so cool if it wasn't a slideshow. Next, I decided to make a sapling-only world, and watching them grow was actually really satisfying. I can't move on until all the holes are filled. Another experiment similar to this idea is making a drip leaf-only world. I honestly had no idea what would happen with this one, but it's probably one of my favorites so far. And the last world I made was a cactus-only world, but it didn't really go well, so we'll just move on. If you place 2 slabs like this, and then you push them together with a piston, you can make an illegal slab. So I wonder what it would look like if we copied the build a bunch of times to make a wall of illegal slabs. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is satisfying, but it's definitely pretty cool, and also really laggy. Picking up a ton of XP can also be pretty satisfying. Okay, it just won't stop. It's been doing this for like 5 minutes. And for the last experiment, I decided to put some bees in a nest. A lot of bees. Okay, if we set it to day, they should all come out at the same time. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know if that that was satisfying. It's kind of unsettling actually. This is chiseled copper, and because of this cool X design on the sides of the block, it actually makes a really nice crate if placed with some other crate looking things. And if you place these blocks in a 2x2 like this, and then place signs all around the sides, you can make an even bigger and better looking crate. You can also mix in some of the brand new copper trapdoors on the side of the crates, and you can even change the middle block to make some empty looking crates. Or we can just remove the block in the middle completely and we get a cool little animal house. I promise I'm gonna let him out, guys. If you want to make a more humane pet house, you can place some trapdoors like this, add some carpets on the bottom, and then put the new heavy core in the front, which kind of looks like a food bowl. And if you want some more food for your pet, you can place a chiseled copper like this and put a sea pickle on the top, and it kind of looks like a melon or something. We should probably just stick to the actual melon though. I don't know if I cooked with this one. You can place some copper trapdoors on top of campfires like this to make a cool looking stove, and now we can cook the melon if we want. And if you want to make a chair to sit down and have a meal, here's one chair design using the new trapdoors, and here is another. This chair is a little bit goofy. In real life it would be like 3 meters tall. Another new block coming in 1.21 is the crafter, which surprisingly has a lot of different building use. To start, you can make a stove by placing the crafter on top of some campfires, and then adding a few more kitchen details like this. And you can also use a crafter as cabinets if you place it facing this way instead. Who knew the crafter was the ultimate kitchen block? The bottom of the crafter can also be used as a roof, so I guess that makes it the third time it's used in this kitchen. And if you place it on the ground, it kind of looks like some kind of mat that is meant to keep the floor clean. Might as well just build the whole house out of crafters at this point. More household items that can be built with a crafter is this PC where the crafter is used as a monitor, or you can go all out and build a flat screen TV using 2 different angles of the crafter like this. Don't mind me, just sitting on my crafter couch watching my crafter TV. You can also place a crafter like this and then put a few seats around it to create an actual functioning game of tic-tac-toe. Okay, how am I losing to myself? And if you want to protect your house from intruders, you can use the crafter as a keypad like this. If you place a tough wall with a trapdoor on each side, and then add a crafter on top, and place a few more details like this, you can make a telephone booth looking thing like this. And if you look at this side of the crafter, it kind of looks like a face, which means you're actually able to build the crafter man like this. Now I know why we installed the security on the first door. This guy's not messing around. Coming up next, we have a few build hacks that are pretty tough. Tough bricks look kinda like stone bricks, so you can mix them together to make a nice looking pattern. Just like how chiseled tough and polished tough go together nicely if you place them on the floor. You can also use the top of chiseled tough bricks to make a really satisfying floor design like this. This is so cool, it almost looks like it's 3D. And if you take the side of regular chiseled tough and place it in a cave, it kinda looks like old transcriptions on the wall. This doesn't really work the same with chiseled tough bricks though, it kinda looks out of place. These brand new chiseled tough blocks can be used to make really nice looking pillars because of their unique designs, and if you want to make a fence out of tough walls, it actually looks really nice mixing them all together. You can even put one more block up on some parts like this, and then place a heavy core on top, and it kind of looks like a light that isn't on. If you pair the new tough walls with a few iron blocks like this, it looks like some kind of power station thing that would probably look good on top of a building or something. And I also found this robot guy you can make, which uses all the new blocks in the build, including the heavy cores for the eyes. I don't know why, but it kind of looks more like a frog than a robot. Speaking of heavy cores, the heavy core is actually a really useful block for builds. Well, it probably is for someone who actually knows how to build. But still, you can place it on top of a table like this, and it kind of looks like a mug or a thermos. And as we saw earlier, if you place it in an item frame, it kind of looks like eyes, which is especially scary if you just place it around a dark cave like this. I'd say I sure hope no one's watching me, but this is a video, so I hope you are. A mace is made from a heavy core, and it kind of looks like a utensil when it's placed on the table from earlier. And if you want to use the heavy cores as eyes without an item frame, I accidentally built this crab out of tough. You can also build this crab out of copper if you prefer your crabs to be cooked before you put eyes on them. Remember what we could have had instead of the armadillo. Now obviously our crab is pretty cursed, but there are some even more insane build hacks coming later in this video. But first we have these copper trees, which are just oak trees except the leaves are replaced with copper grates. And if you really want to 1.21ify this, you can replace the logs with a tough block block of your choice to really make this look like a 100% real tree. You can also place a bunch of water beside your tree like this, and you can even make one of these water lilies with a copper trapdoor and a coral fan on top. Why is this thing called a brain coral fan? What is Minecraft hiding from us? Whatever they're hiding is probably in these pipes, which you can make out of copper trapdoors like this, and if you want to just make a bridge out of copper trapdoors, you can do that. Not really sure if this is a build hack though, it's just a bridge. Copper grates are really useful, as since they are see-through, you can use them to make windows like this. Guys, I swear I'm not in prison. And if you want to use them for something that looks less like you committed a crime, you can make some fences by mixing them with other copper blocks as well. You can also just switch the grates out for a trapdoor for a different window design, and this also works with the fences, although it looks a lot easier for trespassers to climb them now. The copper bulb is a new block that emits light, and you know what that means? Lamps. You can make this simple lamp design using either oxidized or normal copper plus some similar colored fences like this, or if you want to be fancier, you can place some copper blocks as a base like this, put a tough wall above it here, and then add some fences on top of the wall, and finally a slab, a trapdoor, and a bulb like this. Now this is a better looking lamp than the first one. But if you want to be even fancier, you can make a double lamp like this, and honestly I think this one is a little bit too overkill. I mean, why do we even need a third lantern in the middle? And with these lamps, you're probably going to want to add a road underneath them so that they have something to actually light up. And if you want to add a sewer entrance, you can move two of the stairs so that they are facing like this, and then add some copper grates underneath to look like a cool sewer entrance. Just make sure that you don't accidentally drop your phone in it. Now it's almost time for some cursed build hacks. But first we have this copper gear which can be made using some of the new copper blocks, and if this gear is too much for you, you can shrink it down a bit like this if we remove the trapdoors. You can also place a copper block on the roof of a cave, and then place a wall and a fence underneath to make an artificial dripstone like this, and this actually comes in both colors as you can see, although the oxidized one looks more like an icicle than a dripstone. Another thing you can hang on the roof is a copper bulb like this to make another type of lamp, and if you want to build a copper staircase, you can now add some copper grates underneath the stairs and also put some copper trapdoors on the sides for more detail. If you want to add some scary windows to your house, you can use the new trial spawners as an ominous window design like this, and this can also be used as a fence design if you have some kind of haunted mansion or something. A trial spawner can also be used as a bird cage if you right click on it with a parrot spawn egg so it traps the bird inside. Of course this is except for the fire and the spinning and the fact that it spawns parrots. Okay, that one was kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. An ominous key can kind of look like a painting of a tree if you place it in an item frame on the wall of your house. And another thing that can go in an item frame is a breeze rod paired with a blaze rod, which is meant to look like the hot and cold on a water tap. Something that's less of a build hack and more of a cool trick is this wind charge launcher, which you can make by angling 4 dispensers full of wind charges towards you. Okay, I don't know how it turned infinite, but I'm not complaining. It's kind of like a trampoline now. If you place some copper bulbs like this and then put some tuff in the middle, you can create a portal to the secret copper dimension. And now it's time to show you some absolutely cursed build hacks that should not be used ever, mainly because they're really stupid. First off, if you throw a wind charge and then use the new /tick freeze command, you can make a really cool smoke effect that you can use in your builds, although now the entire rest of the game is frozen, so this might not be that useful. You can also trap a bogged in some sand like this, and it will make it look like someone died while traveling the desert. When an armadillo rolls up into a ball, you can use this opportunity to use the armadillo as a soccer ball that you can even play with using a knockback sword like this. And a rolled up armadillo can also look like some boxes on the ground or on some shelves depending on where you place it. Just like earlier, if you put a bogged in some powdered snow, it will look like somebody died while traveling in the snow. The only problem with this one is that the bogged actually does die in the snow eventually. And finally, if you spawn a breeze in some water, it kinda looks like a jellyfish. Okay, yeah, that's enough cursed build hacks. That one was insanely stupid. This is a street drain that is built using the new copper grates as well as some tough blocks, and it's a shame that you can't waterlog the copper grates, as this would actually be really cool. And if you just place a copper bulb in the sky like this and add a lever underneath, it can look like one of those floating lanterns that are for Chinese New Year, I think. I'm probably wrong about that, don't get mad at me. You can also switch the copper bulb out for one of these frog lights like this, and then you can place either oxidized trapdoors or regular copper trapdoors on the outside for another one of these lamp designs as well. And now with these trapdoors, you can also use them as a curtain thing on the side of your windows instead of using them as windows like we did earlier. And if you want to make another lamp, like we haven't made enough already, we can place some of the new tough blocks like this and then put a copper bulb with copper trapdoors around it like this, and another weird lamp design I've seen is this copper bulb on top of a dragon egg with some buttons on it so you can actually turn it on and off. And somehow I forgot the fact that these new trapdoors can be used as railings on the side of like a factory upper level, and you can also place some copper grates to make a nice floor to go with the trapdoor railings as well. And we can finally make a power station using some of the blocks like this to complete our factory. For these next build hacks, I decided to go find them in the new structure, the trial chambers. And the first one is just using these copper grates as like an entry to a tunnel type of thing. You could also use these copper grates as like support beams on the roof, similar to how they are used in the structure here. And there are some really cool mixes of tough blocks used in the wall design of this structure, which isn't really a build hack, but it's still pretty useful to know. I also found out that you can actually waterlog these grates, which makes the street drain from earlier look a lot better now that I know this. And you can also build the face of a breeze like this if you ever wanted to do this, although I'm not really sure why you would. This combo of blocks looks pretty cool in the middle of a fountain, and you can use these trapdoors to make little hidden tunnels inside of your builds as well. The end of this tunnel looks pretty cool, especially with the X in the middle. It kind of looks like one of those things you have to turn to open a vault door, and probably my favorite Mojang approved build that I found is this secret room in the trial chambers, which isn't a build hack, but I just thought it was cool that I found a secret room. There's also another secret room. This is so cool. And that concludes the trial chambers build hacks. I'm honestly surprised I even found any. Everybody knows that leather armor is the most useless armor in the game, but did you know that leather armor isn't even leather armor? In the early versions of Minecraft, leather hadn't been added to the game yet, so players would instead have to craft this armor using wool blocks that you obtained by punching sheep and turning them bald. This armor was eventually replaced with leather armor, but the texture remained the same, meaning the armor you wear today might not be what you think. Speaking of weird armor things, did you know that Minecraft's old armor system actually worked a lot differently? To start off, armor used to absorb all types of damage, including fall damage, meaning you could jump off of a massive mountain and survive wearing full leather armor. But you also might have noticed that I have 10 armor bars wearing leather armor. How is that possible? Well, prior to beta 1.6, all armor actually provided the same amount of protection, and the amount of armor bars you had was actually reflected by the amount of durability left on your armor. This meant that the only actual difference between leather and diamond armor was how fast it breaks, which in Minecraft Alpha was pretty fast. When thinking of the most iconic Minecraft item, you probably think of diamonds, but what if I told you that diamonds weren't even diamonds when they were first added to Minecraft? When Notch first added diamonds to Minecraft, he decided it would be a good idea to refer to them as emeralds instead of diamonds. Maybe this is why villagers have been after them this whole time. In the early versions of Minecraft, creepers never used to explode. Well, kinda. In the in-dev stages of the game, creepers existed as a hostile mob, but they would just melee attack you instead of explode. Don't let this fool you though, as for some reason they still exploded upon killing them. In Minecraft there are many structures, such as villages, shipwrecks, and even woodland mansions. But there is actually a structure that came before all of these, a structure that no longer exists today. When creating a world in the in-dev versions of Minecraft, you would spawn inside of a starter house that was located in the center of the world. The starter house was made up of wooden planks and stone like this, but in older versions it was just a big mossy cobblestone house. The house was filled to the brim with a bunch of chests, and each chest contained a stack of every item in the game. This seems pretty OP, and we can see why it doesn't exist today. Speaking of structures, when you think of villages, you usually think of villagers. The iconic Minecraft mob, which you can kidnap, take advantage of its self-scamming trades, and even enslave it to create a civilization. But did you know that when villages were first added to the game, there were actually no villagers to go with them? Just an eerie ghost town in the middle of nowhere. You've probably milked a cow in Minecraft before, maybe even a mushroom cow if you were looking for some soup. But I bet you've never milked a squid before, and that's because you were only able to milk squids for a short amount of time in beta 1.2 before Mojang later removed this feature. Why could you milk a squid in the first place? That I have no idea. One of the most cursed things in Minecraft is placing water in the nether, which is made completely impossible by having it instantly evaporate upon being placed. This wasn't always the case though, because in earlier versions of Minecraft you could actually place ice in the nether, and then when it melted it would cause water to flow out like normal. You better keep this information out of the hands of the wrong people though, or you might end up with an ocean in the nether. Minecraft's blocks have seen major updates over the years, but there are some things about these blocks that used to be completely different. To start, chests used to take up an entire block, causing you to actually be able to use them as a building block, and it didn't look that bad. Furnaces used to have a stone layer on top instead of the cobblestone that we see today, and climbing ladders used to require only one ladder every 2 blocks blocks instead of a straight line. But did you know that a secret slab used to exist in the game? In the really early versions of Minecraft, Notch added the dirt slab to the game, which was supposed to help make the mountains look more natural. But as you can see, it didn't really work. Most people think that crying obsidian was added in the Nether update, but crying obsidian was actually seen in the game's files all the way back in beta 1.3. But instead of looking like this, it looked like this. I can see where the crying in the name comes from now. In beta 1.4, locked chests were added all around the map as an April Fool's update. Upon clicking on these chests, you would just be given a prompt telling you that you need to buy a Steve Co. supply crate key to open the chest, which was obviously a joke. These chests would end up getting removed from the world generation in the next update. I guess we'll never know what was really inside of these chests. Do you think Minecraft brewing is confusing now? Well, it's nothing compared to Minecraft's original brewing system. In beta 1.9 pre-release 2, cauldrons were added to the game and their original use was to brew potions. All you had to do was click a water-filled cauldron with a potion ingredient, and then you could retrieve the potion using a glass bottle. Seems pretty easy, right? That is until I tell you there were 30 different potions in the game, all with confusing names. That brewing system was crazy, but not as crazy as time travel being added to Minecraft. In the beta 1.8 pre-release, Mojang added the ability to build a time machine in survival Minecraft. Well, you don't actually need a time machine, you just need to press F6 to go back in time and F7 to go forwards in time. I wonder if Minecraft will ever have a 4D version in the future. In Snapshot 15W14A, another April Fool's update, attacking mobs is completely disabled and the only way to progress is by left-clicking mobs to increase your hearts, which was also known as the love meter. This update added a bunch of mobs that were never seen again, such as the love golem, the pink wither, and even the smiling creeper, which upon exploding actually gives you flowers instead of killing you. None of this was as weird as the way you beat this update though, which is by gaining a certain amount of hearts and then completing a Minecraft-themed game of Minesweeper. I think from now on I'll just stick to playing regular Minecraft. Regular Minecraft isn't always so regular though, as the original method of respawning the Ender Dragon was added in Snapshot 15W31A. In this snapshot, you could respawn the Ender Dragon simply by building a creeper's face out of clay inside of the end. And no, I'm literally not joking, this one is real. Also in beta 1.9 pre-release 3, you could locate the stronghold based on these massive glass pillars that came out of the ground, and upon entering the portal room, you might notice something a little different about the end portal. That end portal was not nearly as different as the original Endermen though. When Endermen were first added to the game, they actually had green eyes, and upon attacking them, they would make zombie sounds instead of the sound that they make today. To make things even worse, instead of mining for diamonds, originally you could just farm Endermen to make your diamond tools instead. This is completely overpowered as long as you don't run into the white Enderman. This is a fishing rod, and this is a fishing rod being used in PvP, but did you know that when Minecraft first added the fishing rod, it actually looked like this and was completely useless? The only thing that you could do with it was stack as many of them on top of each other as you wanted. Crazy to see how far this game has come. Food in Minecraft used to be a lot different, as there was no hunger bar, meaning food would be used to instantly heal your hearts instead. When eating food, you didn't even have to wait for the animation to finish, as there was no animation. The food just instantly disappeared like you were Matt Stoney. The one downside to this though was that the food was not stackable. This meant that in order to stay alive while caving, you had to fill half your inventory up with food, allowing you to only have a little bit of space left for collecting ores. This made everything so much slower, especially because you can't sprint in these versions. You might have heard of the Aether mod, which is probably one of Minecraft's most famous mods, but did you know that Notch almost made this mod a reality? In beta 1.6, a sky dimension was added to the game and could be accessed using mods. Notch said that this dimension could have been a dream world where the player would have a random chance of being teleported to while sleeping in the game. Unfortunately, this dimension was never added to Minecraft, and instead this concept was later turned into the end. Speaking of sleeping in Minecraft used to be really annoying. In older versions of Minecraft, when trying to sleep in an area that was accessible by mobs, the game would wake you up every time a hostile mob was standing near you, even if you were separated by a wall. This made sleeping basically impossible unless you had a nuclear fallout shelter to sleep in. We've talked about some of the things added for April Fool's updates already in this video, but one of the most interesting April Fool's updates was 1.rv-pre1. Kind of a weird update name in itself. In this update, a few items were added, such as the ankle monitor, 3D glasses, and even a smartwatch. They even added a USB charging block, which could be used in the exact same way that a redstone block is used today. Now, obviously all of these items were added as a joke, but it would be kind of funny to put somebody on house arrest in your Minecraft world. Even even more useless than a netherite hoe, it is now possible to get netherite horse armor in Minecraft. Just put diamond horse armor with a netherite ingot in the smithing table like this, and now your horse can be dripped out just like you. Now we just need netherite dog armor. If you hate baby turtles, so does the parched. The parched is a new skeleton variant that spawns in the desert biome, and besides shooting baby turtles, the parched also shoots arrows of weakness at you if you are within range of it. It does have a slower fire rate than a normal skeleton though, so it's slightly less deadly. Still, they are able to survive in the daytime because they don't burn in sunlight. And you can also find a parched riding on top of a camel husk, which is a new undead camel variant, kinda like the zombie horse. It also spawns in the desert, and it spawns with both a husk and a parched riding on top of it. The camel husk is only hostile when there are hostile mobs riding on it though, and if you kill the husk and the parched, you can actually ride it just like a regular camel. It does seem a little bit slower than a regular camel though. I don't know if that's true for all of them or if I just got a slow camel. And the camel husk's favorite food is a rabbit foot. You can use it to heal them, but not to breed them, as the camel husk can't be bred. The camel virus is too dangerous to be spread. There is a new mob being added to the oceans in Minecraft. The Nautilus is a passive mob that is found underwater, and it can even be tamed if you have some pufferfish. Pair the pufferfish with a saddle, and now you can use it to travel around the ocean. With the Nautilus, you are only able to travel below the surface level though, which is why it gives you a permanent water breathing effect when you ride it. You also can break things at regular speed if you are riding a Nautilus, which makes it really easy to build underwater. And if that isn't enough, you can also dash on it to go even faster. But beware, because not every Nautilus is good. There is a zombie Nautilus which spawns carrying a drowned that will chase you at the same speed as a regular Nautilus. So you might want to get some Nautilus armor to protect your Nautilus, and make sure it doesn't die while being attacked by a zombie Nautilus. Or you can craft a spear with this crafting recipe. This new weapon has two attack modes. The first one is a jab attack, which is just a normal attack like this, and the second one is a charge attack, which does more damage the faster you are going before the hit. The spear also has some kind of weight effect, which makes you unable to use it for a long period of time. If the spear is facing in this direction, it means you are good to attack, but if it's like this, you are going to have to wait until the cooldown is over. You are not the only one who is getting a spear though, because zombies can also spawn holding a spear. If you find a zombie sitting on a zombie horse, it's going to be holding a spear, which makes the zombie an actual scary mob. I have no idea how much damage this spear is going to do, but it will probably do more than a zombie with an iron axe, so these zombie horses are not to be messed with. The copper golem is coming to Minecraft in the next update. The copper golem was probably one of the most liked mobs ever in a mob vote. I remember I made a video about the copper golem dying like 4 years ago, and now it's coming to the next update. Crafted by placing a carved pumpkin on top of one block of copper, the copper golem is kind of an automatic item sorter. It takes items from copper chests, which is a new block getting added to the game, and moves them to either empty chests or chests with the same type of item. You get a copper chest immediately after spawning a copper golem, or you can craft a copper chest using this recipe. Copper golems can be spawned with each oxidation state, but I am unsure if they oxidize over time. Maybe you're gonna have to wax your copper golem in order to keep it from growing old and getting dementia. But that's all I know about the copper golem right now, because I'm not going into bedrock. But that's not the only copper things that are coming to the next update, because copper armor and tools are going to be added as well. Copper tools are between the strength of stone and iron, and they are being added to the game because it's easier to find copper than iron, so it will be helpful in the early player journey. That's what Mojang said. Honestly, this looks kind of like a modded item right now. I can't really see it being added to the game, but now we are one step closer to emerald armor being added. It would be cool if the armor had some kind of extra functionality, like turning you into a human lightning rod and making you get struck by lightning all the time. That would be pretty useful. There are new copper golem statues being added to Minecraft. Alongside the release of the copper golem itself, you can now get a statue of one as well. A copper golem statue is obtained by waiting for a copper golem to completely oxidize, and after that your copper golem will know how to breakdance. You can respawn a copper golem from a statue as well by right-clicking it with an axe a few times. And that's basically it for new copper golem lore. But for new copper lore though, there is now copper nuggets in the game. And no, these are not the type of nuggets you can eat, even though it looks like it. They just work like iron and gold nuggets. You can also get oxidized lightning rods now, and there is now copper horse armor, which actually looks kind of nice with the green seat. Definitely the best looking horse armor. If you ever wanted new dye textures in Minecraft, you probably work for Mojang because I think they're the only ones who wanted this. But there are new dye textures in the game now. As you can see, they kinda look like they are on plates. Man, I love a good plate of purple. Another major update coming to the game is shelves. A shelf is currently crafted using this recipe, although Mojang usually changes crafting recipes at least once before the actual update, so this might be wrong in the future. And you can put items on a shelf by right-clicking like this, and you can take them back out by right-clicking on the slot that the item is in. Finally, Mojang added slot machines to Minecraft. There's been a couple changes to the F3 menu in Minecraft Java. I don't remember what it used to look like, but I know that this is different. And there is also a new loading screen as well. People say it feels faster, but I don't really notice the difference. I guess my PC is just too good. There are also a couple new settings coming to the game. There's this sprint window setting for people who still use double tap to sprint. It's not 2012, so I will not be changing this. There's also these attack, destroy, and use item place block settings, where you can now set breaking and placing blocks to toggle instead of hold. This is honestly pretty weird, but maybe it's useful to somebody. There's also these high contrast block outlines. You can probably tell what it is just by looking. And there's rotate with minecarts, which I think is new. Maybe it's not, but I've never seen it, so I'm including it anyways. Even more copper blocks are being added to the game. This is what the list looks like now in the game. This is actually insane. Let's start off with the copper bars. These are crafted the same way you would craft iron bars, but with copper. And as you can see, there are 4 different stages of copper bars. They also do connect with iron bars. I just had to make sure because sometimes blocks don't connect. The next update we'll look at is copper chains. Again, this recipe is the exact same as regular chains, just with copper instead of iron. And as you can see, here we can make a colorful chain. That's about it. Copper torches are now a thing in the game. Instead of burning orange like a regular torch, a copper torch burns green. Is this realistic? I don't know. I've never seen a copper torch before. It's crafted using this recipe, and you can even use it to make a copper lantern if you really want to, which is... well, you guessed it. A lantern made out of copper. And just like every other copper block, there is 4 variants. But I think the last one is by far the best looking one. The oxidation blends in perfectly with the light. It seems that Mojang is just making a copper version of everything that is iron. But what I really think needs to come in the next snapshot is green fire on top of copper blocks. With the copper torch being green, I think this would be very cool, just like soul fire on top of soul sand. Okay, real quick, this isn't really a fact, but Mojang made changes to how toggle sprint and sneak work in this snapshot, and it is terrible. Every time I leave my inventory, I have to press sprint again, and now it makes you stop crouching when you open your inventory with toggle sneak. Mojang is claiming these things were a bug, even though this is how the game has worked since 2019, so if you hate this change, make sure to protest it or something, because we know that Mojang actually does listen, and will probably change it back if enough people hate it. Minecraft Snapshot 25W33A is here, and in this snapshot, it is now possible to decorate your copper golem, but only if you are an iron golem. Iron golems are now able to plant a flower on top of a nearby copper golem. It's just like when an iron golem gives a villager a flower, except the flower actually becomes a part of the copper golem. You can remove the flower from the golem using shears, and it gets dropped if a copper golem turns into a statue, but they really should make it stay on top of the golem when it's a statue, and give the option to plant a flower on top of a golem yourself, because if an iron golem can do it, why can't I? There are now chat drafts in Minecraft. If you are typing out a really long message and then your chat gets randomly closed, you can open it up again and the message will still be there. It's a good thing that stayed. Wouldn't want to type that whole message out again. The end has different lighting now. You may not notice it right away, but did you see that? The colors of everything just changed. There is supposed to be flashes of light in the sky to go along with this, but I can't see them. Okay, you actually just have to leave the main island to see the flashes in the sky. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It's a feature for vibrant visuals and will probably look a lot better once that gets added to Java. But right now the end stone just turns purple, I guess. If you're a fan of Steve's Lava Chicken, you'll be happy to know there is a new Lava Chicken music disc in the game. You get it from killing a chicken jockey, and this new disc plays a MIDI version of the song by Jack Black. There is also a brand new 3x3 painting coming to this update as well. It's a picture of Dennis from the Minecraft movie. So I guess this makes 1.21.7 the Minecraft movie update. There is a new title screen. This happens every time there is an update. There is dripstone that shouldn't be there though. How did it get here? There's a secret dried ghast as well. What is a dried ghast? That's my best attempt at yelling. A dried ghast is a secret block found near the ancient remnants of happy ghasts which got lost in the nether. It is very rare as these remnants aren't seen very frequently. And you can also just craft it. With this recipe, put it down, add some water, and in about 20 minutes you have a bunch of foam dinosaurs. You actually just have a ghastling, which is cool because the ghastling can grow up if you feed it snowballs into a full-on happy ghast. Give the happy ghast a harness. This is how you craft a harness. And then you can fly the happy ghast all the way to the moon. I'm sure you've seen the happy ghast a million times, but I bet you didn't know that they added this fog which really just bothers me. Like, it's kind of annoying to look at. It's just like, not really foggy. It's kinda hazy. And definitely don't let me see what it looks like when it's raining. Other news about the sky. If you aren't like me and you play with clouds on, there is a new setting to change the cloud distance in video settings. This looks kinda cool, but I think it's a little bit too far personally. And this looks horrible. This is like balding and not shaving the last hair off. But you can also teleport yourself to these coordinates when you first make a world in Java Edition, and absolutely nothing is different with the clouds. I just wanted to show another angle. Whatever happened to vibrant visuals? I ask as I open up Minecraft Java Edition. It's not available on Java yet, so I'm venturing into Bedrock mode to do a vibrant visuals review. Welcome to Minecraft Vibrant Visuals. Why does it dox my whole PC in the top of the screen? Honestly, this looks really cool. The water, it's very visible through the water. There are a couple of places I want to go in Vibrant Visuals. How are cheats not enabled in creative? The desert is supposed to be really yellow. Yeah, this is super yellow. It's like that. Dude, what is this? Why does it feel so bright? I literally can't see anything. The end is also supposed to be pretty cool. Oh yeah, we got the purple skies, and this is nice. Apparently there's also an end storm. Okay, maybe I'm a moron and don't know what that means. Okay, I really don't know. Whoa. I don't really know what an end storm is. The lighting keeps changing, so maybe that's it. Anyways, that's enough bedrock for me. The end storms, this stuff's not for me if you couldn't tell. Did you know that leads are bigger now? If you play Bedrock Edition, you don't know what I'm talking about. But the thickness of leads has been changed in this update on Java. That's pretty much it. Or so you would think. With leads, you can now leash a mob to another mob. You can take a lead off of a fence like this. You are able to shear a lead off of a mob. And you can attach boats to ghasts to make cargo systems. Somehow people are making trains with this. This is where people are taking their engineering degrees in 2025. I want you to think about the craziest update in Minecraft ever. Something super game-changing that absolutely would never get added to the game. If you are thinking about a crafting recipe for saddles, you are insane. Mojang would never add that. Yeah, they did. You can craft saddles now, and I'm interested in why they didn't just do 5 leather like this. I feel like the universal saddle recipe in everyone's head was this. Why did they make it with only 3? Anyways, they also replaced saddles with 1 to 5 leather inside of treasure loot, which makes no sense. Honestly, why didn't they just keep the saddles? Just because it's craftable doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the chest. Crafting recipe isn't the only thing that got a new saddle though, as you can also now craft leads without the slime ball. This one goes hard, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know how to find slimes. Is something somebody who doesn't know how to find slimes would say. That isn't me though. Very cool news. There is a new achievement for placing a creaking heart. It says I am a heart transplanter. I'm taking this thing to my local hospital and applying for a job right now. And if my local hospital was a player, I would be able to find it super easily with the new locator bar. Assuming the hospital isn't crouching obviously, because I would hide it on the locator bar. It also would be hidden by wearing a mob head and from wearing a carved pumpkin. If you don't want people finding the hospital with ease in your Minecraft server, you can just turn off the locator bar with this game rule. I think waypoints that aren't players also show up on this bar. I could be wrong though, and I probably didn't check if I am. Okay, this next update is big news. The play sound command no longer plays in every dimension. I don't know who needed to hear that, but there you go. Another sound update is this new music disc. It is ghast sounds made into music. The ghast low-key went crazy on this. Another banger from Nether Records. Actually, it's an Overworld song because it's happy ghast sounds, I think. Is anyone else super annoyed by the fog? Okay, I can't really keep hating on the fog. Maybe we have to look at it from the fog's perspective, which we can now do with the new camera distance attribute. It's kind of like the Roblox camera where you can go super far out or super close. This is so strange. This should not be possible. I like the zoom out mode better. It's kind of like I'm watching a replay. There's a couple more new commands. There's the /waypoint command, which you can use to list waypoints in your world. You can also modify waypoints. Like right here, you can change the color, or you can change the style. I don't know what style is. What is a waypoint style? What did I just do? Another new command coming to the game that's actually kind of cool is the /dialogue command. You can use it to show custom UI menus to players. Right now, this is what we have in the game. There's custom options, quick actions, and server links. Obviously, you are meant to modify these yourself. Those are just examples. When you click the caution button, you get this message. And it even has a save and quit option if you somehow get trapped in an infinite dialogue scam. W Mojang for saving people's information. People definitely won't still click the links anyways. Here are some extra happy ghast facts. When spawned, a ghastling will try to follow a player or an adult non-aquatic passive mob within a 16 block radius of it. A ghastling takes about 20 minutes to turn into a happy ghast if the process isn't sped up with snowballs. Happy ghasts cannot be bred and are only spawned through adding water to dry ghasts. Happy ghasts slowly regenerate health, and they regen faster during rain or when they are flying at the same height as clouds. There is a new achievement called Stay Hydrated for when a dried ghast is placed into water. Apparently the ghast has a new texture, so I've been looking at ghasts the whole video and I haven't noticed anything, but I'll try to find a ghast from an older version and put a side-by-side comparison. I thought this one was fake, but after seeing the old ghast, it is true. The new one is more HD to match the smile on the happy ghast. Can I attach a mob to a happy ghast? Okay, we'll attach the pig and... okay, never mind, the pig's not there. That doesn't work either. Okay, I finally got the pig to attach, so this one's true. The happy ghast is able to carry mobs. And just like in the Minecraft movie, you are able to do this with boats. It's just like how the ghasts carry piglins in the movie. So logically, I have to try attaching a boat to a regular ghast. Alright, let's bring it over to the ghast. Nah, you can't attach it to the ghast. I mean, if you count me as a ghast, it does work though. We've seen a happy ghast make multiple mobs fly, but can it make a player fly? Okay, I'm attached. Wait, I swear I just moved. I'm kind of getting pulled. Okay, so if I take my happy ghast all the way up here... okay, I'm up high. It should pull me now. Now it's just doing nothing, bro. I swear it worked. I don't know. I'm like 90% sure it worked. I'm gonna have to say that one was half true. Apparently the lead is bigger in 1.22. Okay, this guy, you can't lead this guy. Yeah, this is actually true. This lead is massive. Apparently the new leads don't get stuck on blocks. Okay, it went up that block. Yo, this thing's kind of moving. This might be true. Okay, this is the ultimate test. Oh, and it's gone. This one is not true. Can you attach a mob to another mob? So with the new leads, I should be able to attach two mobs together. Just gotta crouch. Yeah, it's true. We got a pig centipede. If you can chain mobs together, can you chain people together? Okay, I'm trying to lead myself and it's not working, but I wonder if I can give a lead to another player. Nah, I can't do this either. Can I attach a mob to a happy ghast? Okay, we'll attach the pig and... okay, never mind, the pig's not there. That doesn't work either. Okay, I finally got the pig to attach, so this one's true. The happy ghast is able to carry mobs. And just like in the Minecraft movie, you are able to do this with boats. It's just like how the ghasts carry piglins in the movie. So logically, I have to try attaching a boat to a regular ghast. Alright, let's bring it over to the ghast. Nah, you can't attach it to the ghast. I mean, if you count me as a ghast, it does work though. This isn't a new thing, but apparently you can make a llama train with a lead. So by putting a lead on a llama, I get a train of llamas. Yeah, they actually all just follow me. But I wonder if you can make a llama train with a happy ghast carrying it. Let's just attach this. And yeah, they're all following the one in the air. You can make a flying llama train. I also just found out that llamas have cool carpet designs. Like, I just never knew anything about llamas. We've seen a happy ghast make multiple mobs fly, but can it make a player fly? Okay, I'm attached. Wait, I swear I just moved. I'm kind of getting pulled. Okay, so if I take my happy ghast all the way up here... okay, I'm up high. It should pull me now. Now it's just doing nothing, bro. I swear it worked. I don't know. I'm like 90% sure it worked. I'm gonna have to say that one was half true. According to Minecraft's new snapshot, clouds are now rendered further out. So I'm turning clouds on. Okay, that is like super far out. It is definitely true. Yeah, you can see the clouds from like further than my render distance. That's kind of cool. Apparently leads can now be taken off fences. So before, the lead would just break if you right-clicked it. And now when I right-click it, it's supposed to just give me the lead. Yeah, this one is true. It attaches to me. me. You can also shear to remove a lead now, and this is useful when you have multiple mobs leashed together, because right-clicking the lead would just give it to me instead of removing it. Is it possible to walk on a happy ghast? I'm not talking about the one I'm standing on right now, one without a harness. Yeah, you can also walk on one without a harness. That's pretty cool. But now let's try it on a regular ghast. Okay, that is not possible. This is definitely going to be used to troll people on parkour maps or something. Apparently, if you stand on top of a happy ghast, it will start flying down. So you gotta fly up a bit for this to work. That would be if this was true. The ghast actually just stays in the same spot no matter what, which makes sense for like building purposes and stuff. Now that you can craft a harness, is there a new crafting recipe for a saddle? The answer is unfortunately no. You still cannot craft a saddle. Is it possible to craft the new dried ghast? So if you put some ghast tears and bones like this, okay, never mind. That's the old recipe. This is the actual one. You can get a dried ghast for some reason. I don't know why you can craft this. So when you put a dried ghast in water, it goes through different phases like this, but does it age backwards when you take away the water? Yes, it actually does age backwards, causing you to have to start over again. Weirdly enough, I feel like this still made it turn lighter though. Apparently there is a way to duplicate a dried ghast. Okay, so I put a ghast in a hole. That did not duplicate it. Yeah, I don't think this one is true. Apparently there is a new way to get the Roblox camera in Minecraft. So with the attribute command, I can change my camera distance like this. Okay, 2 actually zooms me in. What about 200? Okay, this is more like it. This is definitely a crazy camera angle. It doesn't work in first person, because I don't think that would really work. But you can zoom your camera out like you're in Roblox now. Is there a new achievement for correctly placing a creaking heart? Yeah, there is. Heart transplanter. Looks like I am now a heart surgeon. Can you enable the locator bar in single player? So let's go to experiments, and there is the option to enable it, but it clearly says multiplayer. Whatever, let's just try it. I'm 90% sure that that is an XP bar. I don't think that's the locator bar. I don't think there's a game rule for it either. Apparently the locator bar hides you when you're crouching. So you can see my other account on the bar right here. And I'll just go here and toggle crouch. Now let's go back to the other game. And it gets rid of the locator bar. This is true. I feel like this was pretty obvious, to be fair. Now what seems less obvious is hiding with mob heads and carved pumpkins. So we'll try the mob head first. And yeah, there's nothing on my locator bar. This is true. And now we'll also try a pumpkin head. The pumpkin head also removes you from the locator bar, which is really weird considering name tags still exist when you wear these things. Is it possible to find a big fallen jungle tree? So in jungles, there are little fallen trees like this one, but can I find a big one that's fallen? This is going to be harder to look for than I expected. Found a jungle temple. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Wait, is that one? No, this is a double fallen tree. Wait, what? A double fallen tree is crazy. I really thought that was a big one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably not true if I haven't seen one yet. But can I find a big fallen tree in a pale garden? I would assume that this is probably not true as well. Yeah, I don't think there's even a point in looking. It's probably the same as the jungle. And I'm not even gonna try the roofed forest, because it's basically the same thing. Can I bring a pet with me onto a happy ghast? So let's just spawn our ghast here. Wait, this is a regular ghast. That is not a happy ghast. Okay, now can the dog get on the happy ghast with me? He's just kind of looking at it. Maybe if I go down? Nah, I don't think this is true. Since you can feed happy ghast snowballs, I wonder if snowballs damage regular ghasts. I'm not even gonna spawn a ghast. I feel like I'm on the hunt right now.
12 seconds later.
Okay, this is very loud screaming. Okay, I'm just giving this one up here. If it is true, it takes too many snowballs to do it. Apparently the seed pale garden will spawn you in a pale garden. Alright, so this worked with the cherry biome in 1.20, but the pale garden is a lot rarer. Okay, this doesn't look like a pale garden. Yeah, it's a nice spawn, but it is not a pale garden. This one is not true. Apparently the new desert ambience sounds can be played with a single sand block. So I'm placing a sand block down, and now it's time to listen to the sand. Yeah, the sand does not talk. It's false. If you leave a happy ghast, will it stay in the same place? So I'm just gonna fly until we can't see our ghast anymore. Okay, we can't see the ghast anymore. Let's head back. Yeah, it's still chilling around the same area. Apparently happy ghasts follow you with a harness. So this doesn't work on a ghast that already has a harness, but does it work on a newly spawned one? Yeah, the ghast follows you when you hold a harness, which makes it a lot easier to put a harness on it if you're not in creative. Can you put a happy ghast in a boat? Doesn't look like it. He's flying away. Can you even put a regular ghast in a boat? Okay, I guess you can't put either in a boat. Kind of a dumb myth, but do ghasts attack happy ghasts in the nether? I don't think they attack each other in the nether. It would be cool if there was like ghast wars or something. Does a ghast turn happy if it comes through to the overworld? Okay, we're just spawning a ghast. We're not bringing it through. Will this ghast turn happy thanks to the overworld? Okay, it's been a while, so I'm doubting that this works, but it really should work. I think it would make the Uneasy Alliance achievement make more sense as well. Now let's try the reverse. Does a happy ghast get unhappy in the nether? So this is the happy ghast from 2 myths ago. This ghast has been in here for about as long as we were testing the last myth, and there's still a smile on its face. I mean, we could leave it for a little bit longer, but I think this is false considering you're supposed to be able to bring happy ghasts to the nether. Now it's time to see if a regular ghast will follow a happy ghast to the overworld. Maybe the regular ghast will see it go through and try to see what's on the other side. These things are way too slow, man. I think we're gonna need a little bit bigger of a portal to get him through. Let's make one of those giant portals. Okay, that's gonna be big enough. Oh, our ghast is dying for some reason. Okay, yeah. As expected, the other ghast is not coming through. I feel like this video has been all about happy ghast facts, so here are some extra happy ghast facts. When spawned, a ghastling will try to follow a player or an adult non-aquatic passive mob within a 16-block radius of it. A ghastling takes about 20 minutes to turn into a happy ghast if the process isn't sped up with snowballs. Happy ghasts cannot be bred and are only spawned through adding water to dry ghasts. Happy ghasts slowly regenerate health, and they regen faster during rain or when they are flying at the same height as clouds. There is a new achievement called Stay Hydrated for when a dried ghast is placed into water. Apparently the ghast has a new texture, so I've been looking at ghasts the whole video and I haven't noticed anything, but I'll try to find a ghast from an older version and put a side-by-side comparison. I thought this one was fake, but after seeing the old ghast, it is true. The new one is more HD to match the smile on the happy ghast. Apparently you can clutch using the new wind charges. Okay, so let's just jump off here. And yes, this one is true. I didn't take any fall damage. And speaking of fall damage, does a breeze take any fall damage? And yeah, this one is true as well. All breezes were harmed in the making of this video. Does the seed trial chambers spawn you directly on top of the new trial chambers? No, it looks like this one isn't true, unless it's invisible. Apparently alongside taking no fall damage, breezes also deflect arrows. Okay, this is insane. The breeze might be the most powerful mob, or maybe not. Can a wind charge launch TNT? Okay, so we've already clutched with a wind charge, now we're making a TNT cannon. Yeah, it works, but it doesn't really send it that far. Can you make a trampoline with dispensers and wind charges? So if we just fill a bunch of dispensers like this, and then put a pressure plate in the middle, we should get launched super high. And yes, this one is true. It sent me way higher than 8 blocks. Can you one-shot the Ender Dragon with a mace? Okay, I'm pretty sure this one is true, but I heard they nerfed the mace a bit, so I gotta try it again. And yeah, this one is still true, although this isn't much better than just using beds. Apparently there is also new Minecraft credits? I don't actually know if this is new. Has anyone ever seen this background? Does a mace work with slow falling? This is so slow. They weren't messing around when they said slow falling. No, this one is not true. You have to risk death to use the mace. Can you put channeling on a mace? No, you can't put channeling on the mace. You cannot become Thor. Can you make a warden trial spawner? Yeah, if you right-click the trial spawner with a spawn egg, you can make any type of trial. I think I'm gonna be doing this from now on. Does mining a trial spawner give you loot? No, it gives you nothing. It's just a waste of time. Can you mine a trial spawner with Silk Touch? I'm gonna regret breaking this thing again, aren't I? Yeah, this one is also not true. There is no reason to break the trial spawner. Apparently you can't suffocate in a copper grate. So if I just press this lever here, yeah, I'm just chilling. Kinda looks like I'm in jail though. Guys, please subscribe so I can make bail. Does a beacon beam shine through a copper grate? Yes, this one is actually true, but it doesn't change the color of the beam, unfortunately. Will the luck effect give me better trial loot? Who put cave spiders in a trial? Yeah, this one is probably not true. I don't think this is very good loot. Are spiders afraid of armadillos? So this one doesn't really make any sense. I don't know what kind of gang rivalry they have, but it's true. Will a wind charge travel forever if it doesn't hit anything? So let's throw a wind charge. Yeah, that one traveled really far, so I'm gonna have to say it's true. Can you dye wolf armor? Yeah, this one is true. Now dogs can finally have some drip. And apparently you can also dye horse armor? I've never heard of this before, so let's see. Okay, it obviously doesn't work with diamond, but let's check leather. Yeah, this one is true. Has this always been in the game and I'm just stupid? Every time there's a new update, we gotta try to Jeb underscore a mob. Nope, you cannot get rainbow dog armor. What about putting an armor trim on dog armor? No, this one is also not true, but it's understandable, because that would be too much drip, honestly. Apparently, mobs can't see you through copper grates, so I'm just gonna put myself in jail for the second time this video. And yeah, the mobs just can't see me. I guess these fences really work. Can you break a decorated pot with a firework? So I've heard of breaking these with projectiles, but not a firework. And yeah, this one is true. That's actually really cool. And not only can you break one decorated pot, apparently you can break multiple at once. Yeah, this one is true as well, and it's actually super satisfying to watch. Can you shear a wolf to remove its armor? Okay, so they're just making anything up now. Never mind, this one is true, for some reason. Why? And you can also dispense a brush onto an armadillo for a scute. I bet you didn't expect that, because it doesn't really make any sense. And just when you thought it can't get weirder, there is apparently an infinite scute glitch. Yeah, this only works in creative for some reason, because the brush will break in survival, but it's still kind of funny that my man can just never go bald. Apparently there are multiple new music discs in 1.21, so usually there is only one new music disc, but yeah, it appears there is more than one new music disc this time. Why does this sound like an epic Christmas song? Can you name a boat in 1.21? So I'm pretty sure I've tried this before and it doesn't work, and yeah, you still can't name a boat, nothing has changed. Is there a new copper dimension in this update? Of course there isn't. Mojang is never gonna add a new dimension. Does a copper bulb stay activated with no redstone? So let's just break all this. Yeah, this one is true. I wonder if it ever runs out or just kinda stays like this. Speaking of running out though, apparently oxidized copper bulbs are dimmer. Yeah, this one is true. So I guess it does sort of run out unless you got some wax. Can you make ominous splash potions? Nope, I can't even put the ominous potion in the brewing stand. Does the new oozing potion cause an infinite slime glitch to happen? So if you kill something with an oozing effect, it drops slimes. But what happens if you kill a slime with the effect? This doesn't work. I'm not even sure if they can get the effect. Can you run through cobwebs with the weaving effect? Okay, so it doesn't let me fully run through them, but it's definitely faster. Hold on. Yeah, this is kind of true. It's definitely making me move a bit faster. Apparently you can slow down time in Minecraft 1.21. Yeah, this is true. You just have to type this command to do it. And the same works with speeding up the game as well. These pigs need to chill. I don't know what they've been feeding them. And if you just want to freeze the game completely, apparently that works as well. Yeah, you just type /tick freeze and the game becomes frozen. This cow will feel this pain forever. Does the new trial key open iron doors? This one is false. It's used for the trial vaults instead, a way better use than doors. Speaking of doors, can a breeze open them? Come on, shoot the door already. Yeah, this one is true. I guess no house is safe anymore. Can you put armor on a baby wolf? No, unfortunately you cannot. It's probably a few sizes too big. Everyone knows you can undye things with a cauldron, but can you use it to undye a dog's collar? Come on, it's bath time, buddy. No, you cannot. He still has a blue collar. Will a dog with armor survive a hit from a warden? Okay, he survived a lot more than one hit, and it looks like he can even survive a hit with no armor as well. Still didn't seem to help him that much though. Okay, we got a lore update from earlier. Apparently you can breed armadillos with spider eyes, and now it makes sense why the spiders are scared of them. Okay, it still doesn't really. I mean, the spider is at least double the armadillo's size. Will a zoglin attack an armor stand? Okay, this one is just stupid, but let's try it. Nah, there's no way. What about a hoglin? Hoglin seems unfazed. Yeah, I'ma just leave these guys to it, I guess. Can you use a wind charge to move dripstone? So we tried this with TNT earlier, and yeah, this works with dripstone as well. Can you punch a wind charge back at a breeze? So just like a ghast, apparently I can hit this thing back. Yeah, it's true, which makes me question why we can't do this with blazes. Another thing to do with breezes and blazes is they both have rods, and the rods just don't look the same when you hold them. This isn't a myth, it's just something that really annoyed me when I found out. Will trial spawners spawn mobs when there's light? So if you light up a normal spawner, we all know it won't spawn any mobs. But this is not the case for trial spawners. Apparently you can shoot through a copper grate, so this has never worked with anything else before, but let's try it. No, this one is not true. Is a bog able to breathe underwater? yeah, I don't think this guy's gonna drown anytime soon, so this is true. Is there hidden rooms in the new trial chambers? So I actually already know this one is true, because I found these in my build hacks video that I made for 1.21. Can I wear a heavy core on my head? So the heavy core does kind of look like a mob head, but unfortunately you are not able to wear it as a hat. This is false. Apparently the ender pearl has a new sound. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't make any sound before, so this is true. Will an armadillo die in a snow biome? Let's just place our armadillo here. No, it doesn't seem like it. I think he's chilling, literally. There is a new setting to disable the splash text on the title screen. Yeah, this is true, and I honestly don't know why. Like, why would you want to do this? Is there a new bat texture in Minecraft 1.21? Yes, there is a new bat. Apparently, if you drop a totem of undying on the ground and land on it, you will live. Alright, so we got our totem here, and let's just drop it all the way down. And let's just fall down on top of the totem. Oh my god, that actually worked. What? Apparently you can MLG into a cauldron. Alright, let's just go up on top of the cauldron, and we'll fall all the way down. And no, this one does not work. I still would have died. Apparently, naming a rabbit Toast changes his skin. So let's just get our Toast name tag, and we'll place a rabbit like this, and let's just name him. And yeah, it actually changes his skin. I've never seen this skin before. That's actually pretty cool. Apparently, an Enderman can stand in a cauldron. So, as you know, when you put an Enderman in water, it just TPs away like that. But what if you put an Enderman in a cauldron? Wow, he's actually just standing in the water. He doesn't even TP away. Can fish breathe on land with water breathing? Alright, this one sounds really stupid. There's no way this will work, but let's try it. And now the fish has water breathing, so let's see if it suffocates. Okay, yeah, the fish is taking damage and he died. This one is false. Apparently a gold pickaxe mines faster than netherite. So this is how fast netherite is able to mine stone, and this is how fast gold is able to mine stone. This is actually true. It's noticeably faster. But for some reason, when you put efficiency 5 on both of the pickaxes, the netherite one becomes faster. I don't even understand how that works. Apparently you can make glowing signs. So if we just take our regular sign here, and we get a glowing sack, apparently this will make it glow. No way, it actually makes it glow. How did I not know this exists? Apparently you are also able to dye signs. Alright, so it's the same thing as the ink sac. And yeah, this one works as well. This is so cool. You guys should definitely do what it says on the sign, by the way. It's not me telling you, it's the sign. Apparently you can tow a boat with a lead. So we have our boat right here, and let's just right click it with the lead, and nothing seems to be happening right now. But what if I put a pig in the boat, and then I put a lead on the pig? Okay, it just takes the pig out of the boat. This one isn't true. Apparently 1 block of water is able to hydrate crops that are 4 blocks away. So let's just put our water here, and we'll just hoe all this dirt. And yeah, it's hydrating the crops all the way over here, even though the water is here. Can you smelt an iron door into iron nuggets? So as you know, you can smelt gold and iron tools into nuggets like this. As you can see, I have a nugget right here, but can you do this with iron doors? No, it doesn't look like anything's happening. This is false. Will a baby villager jump on a bed? So let's just spawn a baby villager like this, and apparently he's supposed to just jump on this bed randomly. Okay, well right now he's following his parent, so we have to take care of that. And now let's see if he jumps on this bed. Okay, he's standing on the bed, and yeah, he's jumping on the bed. This one is true. Apparently throwing an XP bottle upwards gives more XP. So let's just throw it down first, and we got exactly 1 level. And now let's try throwing the bottle upwards, and we got a little bit more XP. This one might be true, but it also might be random, so I'm not really sure if it's true or not. Apparently there's an easy trick to find diamonds 100% of the time. So if we go to the middle of a clay patch like this, and then we go 6 blocks south, apparently under the 7th block there will always be diamonds. So let's just mine down like this, and we found gold, but that's not diamonds, so let's keep mining. And we've hit the void, and there's no diamonds. I don't think this one is true. Apparently a hoglin can survive a 50 block fall. So we have our hoglin here, and I'm sorry buddy, but you're going off the edge. And no, the hoglin did not survive. This one is false. Apparently you can sleep underneath lava without dying. So we have our lava bed here, and let's just sleep in the bed. And wow, this is actually working. How am I even sleeping in here? Speaking of dying in lava, apparently witches can't die in lava as well. So let's spawn a witch, and she's dying right now. Oh wait, they actually drink the fire res pot and live. This one's true. Witches can't die in lava. Apparently the top of a desert temple fits a full beacon perfectly. So let's just fill in all of this with netherite, because you know this is a perfectly legit beacon. And yeah, now we have a perfectly fitting beacon. I guess we know who really built the pyramids. Apparently you can use a sweetberry bush to clutch. And yeah, this one is true. I took no damage. Apparently a shield can block splash potions. So let's put a harmful potion in this dispenser, and let's just hold our shield out like this. And this one is false. I still got hit by the potion, even though I was blocking it. Apparently foxes can make a 4-block jump. So let's just put a chicken up here, and we'll spawn a bunch of foxes down here. And yeah, they jumped up and got that chicken immediately. This one is true. Apparently you can walk over magma blocks and campfires without taking damage if you have frostwalker boots. So let's just make the frostwalker Frostwalker boots. And yeah, the magma's true. I'm not taking any damage. But what about the campfires? Yeah, this one is also true. That's so cool. I never knew this existed. But now this makes me wonder if you can walk in lava with Frostwalker boots and not take any damage. Okay, this one is not true. You still die to lava if you have Frostwalker boots on. Apparently you can mine a beacon with your fist. So let's just mine this thing. And yeah, it still drops the beacon. Even though it takes a while to mine it, this one is true. Apparently if you kill a zombie pigman in one hit, the other ones won't attack you. So let's just one hit this pigman. And yeah, they're not attacking me. This one is true. Can you put a pumpkin on a villager's head with a dispenser? So let's just trap our villager and we'll put a dispenser here. Now let's add the pumpkin to the dispenser and let's see if it puts this on his head. Yeah, this one's actually true. The villager's wearing a pumpkin now. Apparently you can trap a warden by quickly placing wool over top of him. So let's just start spawning our warden like this. And if we place wool like this, apparently this traps the warden. And yeah, this one is true. The warden is just kind of trapped in wool now. That's so funny. Apparently you can put out a campfire by right-clicking it with a shovel. And yeah, this is true. It puts out all the campfires instantly. Apparently if you right-click a villager during a raid, it will sweat. So let's just right-click this guy. And I swear I just saw water particles coming from him. Yeah, there's water particles coming from him. This one is true. The villagers really do sweat during the raid. Apparently a dolphin will pick up diamonds. So let's just throw some diamonds to this dolphin. And he's going back for them, I think. And yeah, the dolphin is picking up diamonds. That's so cool. He even throws them back to me. It's just like an allay, but underwater. Will a zombie chase an invisible villager? So we have our zombie right here. And let's just make this villager invisible. And we made the zombie invisible too. Okay, we have to redo that. Alright, let's just try this again. And yeah, he's chasing the invisible villager. This guy has some really good eyesight, I guess. Will a grindstone remove a curse from an item? So let's just put these pants in the grindstone. And no, it literally does nothing. It just keeps the curse of binding on it. Apparently, if you trick a skeleton into lighting TNT, it will make creepers drop a ton of music discs. So let's just get the skeleton to shoot the TNT like this. And he shot the TNT, so let's see what happens. And yeah, they dropped a ton of music discs. That's so cool. I had no idea you could get music discs like this. Apparently, you can milk goats. Okay, I don't know how I've never heard of this one, but it actually makes sense. So let's see if it gives me milk. And yeah, the goat actually gives me milk. How did I not know this is true? Can you put 2 parrots on your shoulder? So let's just tame our parrots like this. And we got 1 parrot on our shoulder. Let's go for 2. Okay, I don't really know if this one's true. He doesn't seem to be getting on. Oh wait, it actually worked. He got on my shoulder right when I thought it was false. Okay, I guess this one is true. You can dual wield parrots. But can you get 3 parrots? I don't think so. He's just running away from me. Will a totem of undying save me from /kill? Alright, so let's just /kill. And no, the totem of undying did not save me, unfortunately. Apparently throwing an instant health potion upwards will give you more health than throwing it down. So let's just throw a potion down like this. And as you can see, it gave me 2 hearts. So now let's throw one up in the air like this. And it still gave me 2 hearts. This one is false. Apparently a witch can't die to instant damage potions. So let's just rain instant damage potions down. And yeah, the witch is just drinking instant health and it's countering it. This one's true. Can you make suspicious stew with a wither rose? So let's just put all these things in the crafting table. And yeah, you can make suspicious stew with a wither rose. This one is true. Will lightning turn a mushroom cow into a brown cow? So let's just spawn a lightning bolt. And yeah, it turns it into a brown cow, but not the brown cow you would expect. It's actually a brown mushroom cow. Will a baby piglin ride a baby hoglin? So let's get our baby hoglin right here. And we'll spawn a ton of baby piglins. And now let's see if one of these guys rides the hoglin. Okay, nothing is happening so far. Oh, and one of them actually is riding on the hoglin. This is true. And wait, multiple of them are stacking on top. You can make an entire piglin stack with this. This is so cool. Does soul fire do double the damage of regular fire? So let's just stand on the fire, and as you can see, it did half a heart to me. But now let's try standing on soul fire. Yeah, the soul fire does 1 heart, and the regular fire only does half a heart. This one is actually true. I had no idea. Apparently a flame bow can ignite a campfire. And yeah, that ignited the campfire. This one is true. Can you walk on powdered snow with Frostwalker boots? Okay, so this one would make a lot more sense than magma, so let's see if it's true. And no, it doesn't look like it's true. I've sunken in the snow. Apparently new emerald armor was added in 1.20. So obviously there was no new emerald armor added in 1.20, but you can put this armor trim on a full set of diamond armor, and as you can see, it kinda looks like emerald armor, even though you can still see the diamond a little bit. So I'll say this one is partly true, I guess. Apparently if you breed 2 different colors of sheep, it'll combine their colors. So let's just breed these sheep, and it should make a purple sheep. And yeah, this is true. Now we have a baby purple sheep. This is kinda cool. Apparently you can farm crops in the nether. Okay, I'm not really sure why this would work, but let's just give it a try. Okay, and it kinda looks like these are hydrated somehow. Okay, I somehow placed 1 seed, but I'm not able to place seeds in these ones. That's so weird. So I guess this is partially true, I guess. I'm not really sure if this will actually grow. Apparently hostile mobs can't cross over rails. So let's just place some rails on the ground like this, and we'll spawn a bunch of zombies. And yeah, it looks like they can't can't get me past these rails. This one is somehow true. Apparently, items can sink through mud into hoppers. So let's just throw some diamonds through here. And yeah, it looks like they sunk through the mud. Apparently, if you ride in a minecart and then sleep in a bed, it'll make you sleep on the floor. Okay, it doesn't look like it worked. I'm pretty sure I'm still in the bed. This one is false. Apparently, there will always be a lush cave underneath an azalea tree. So let's just try to find an azalea tree like this. Okay, and we finally found an azalea tree, so now we just have to mine underneath it. So let's just start mining down. And yeah, we've landed in a lush cave. This one is true. Apparently, the warden can't kill you on carpet. So let's just stand on a carpet like this, and it's already looking kind of bad. I have the darkness effect. Okay, the warden is literally standing right beside me. There's no way he doesn't kill me, right? Okay, yeah, he's getting angry. Okay, yeah, that one's false. I don't know who thought of that. There's no way that was gonna work. Apparently, you can make infinite water with only one water bucket. So if we place a block like this, and then mine out 4 like usual, and then we place our water right here, apparently if we put kelp on these blocks, it'll make an infinite water source. So let's just put kelp all over here, and it did change the water. So let's just break this, and yeah, now we have infinite water from only one water bucket. That's so cool. Will a totem of undying work in the void? So let's just fall into the void. And no, the Totem of Undying does not work in the void, unfortunately. Apparently, iron golems don't take fall damage. So let's just push this guy off, and let's see if he takes fall damage. No, he actually didn't take fall damage. This one is true. I guess that's what happens when you're made of iron. You're just invincible. Can you mine lapis ore with a stone pickaxe? So we have regular lapis, and let's just break it with a stone pick. And yeah, it actually dropped the lapis. This is true. But now, can you break deep slate lapis with a stone pick as well? Yeah, this one also works. I guess you only need a stone pick to collect lapis. Is a diamond and a turtle egg the same texture? So we have our diamond right here, and we also have our turtle egg. And yeah, I can actually kind of see the similarities. Like, they have the exact same shape, and the shading is kind of the same as well. I don't know, let me know if you think these are the same texture or not in the comments. I'm pretty sure that they are. Apparently, if you dig straight down at your world spawn, there will always be diamonds. So let's just start digging straight down from where we spawned, and there was no sign of diamonds anywhere. This one is unfortunately false. Can you survive a fall by landing on a watermelon? So the logic behind this one is because it has water in the name. And no, it's not true. It was pretty obvious it isn't true, to be fair. Apparently you can run over a 1-block gap. So let's just get a running start from back here. And no, I fell in the lava. Alright, let's just try it a few more times. And wait, I actually just ran right over the lava. Somehow this one is true, but it only happens sometimes. So I would still be careful if there's 1 block of lava like this. Apparently you can survive 4 anvils dropped on your head. So we have 4 anvils up here, as you can see. And let's just break the wood block that's holding all these anvils up. And yeah, I somehow survived 4 anvils getting dropped on my head. Although I'm stuck in the anvils now, so I'm not really sure if this is a good idea anyway. Apparently if you throw diamond armor into lava, it will turn into netherite. Alright, so let's just throw a full set in here. And yeah, this one is definitely not true. If you fall for this, you deserve it, to be honest. Apparently netherite armor can survive lava though. So let's just throw our netherite armor in. The netherite armor actually swam back up. This one is true. Can you combine 2 different types of stairs by putting them in the border? So let's just place our 2 stairs like this, and we'll put a piston behind them, and apparently this will combine both of the stairs. Yeah, this one is true, and this is so weird. Like, look at the 2 stairs mixing right here. I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to happen. Apparently turning a shulker invisible will make him lose his shell. Yeah, this one is true, and this looks so weird. There's literally just this little head right here. Apparently you can spawn a giant slime. So apparently using this command, I will spawn a giant slime. So let's just try it. Oh my god, this slime is massive. Yeah, this one is definitely true. I would not want to run into this slime in my world. This guy is huge. And along with a giant slime, apparently you can spawn a giant magma cube as well. And yeah, it literally works the same as the slime, and I actually have no idea where he just went. He just flew away. Like, look when he jumps, he just completely disappears. This one is definitely true. Do zombie pigmen crush turtle eggs? So we have our zombie pigmen here, and yeah, they're literally just crushing the turtle eggs. That's kind of mean. I don't know why they would do that. Will a skeleton turn to a stray if you trap it in powdered snow? Okay, he's shaking, and yeah, he turned into a stray. This one is true. Are you able to turn the wither invisible? Alright, let's splash him with invis, and no, we can still see the wither. And honestly, that's kind of good. The wither would be absolutely terrifying if you could make him invisible. If you smelt a wet sponge and you put a bucket underneath, apparently it'll fill the bucket with water. Yeah, this one is actually true. I guess if you need water and you only have a wet sponge, this is a good way to do it. Can you put a shulker box into a shulker box? Nope, you cannot. I'm clicking, as you can see, and nothing is happening. spawning. This one is false. Apparently you can mine a dragon egg if you put it underwater. Okay, so as you know, you can't normally mine a dragon egg, so let's see if this works. Okay, no, the dragon egg just teleports away. This one isn't true. If you throw a trident with loyalty on it, and then you fill your inventory, apparently it'll chase you. So let's just throw our trident really far away like this, and now let's fill our entire inventory up quickly, and apparently the trident will just chase us, and yeah, the trident is just flying around me. This is so weird. Look at what it does when I stand still. This is so funny. Apparently you can't blow up a nether star, so let's just light this TNT, and yeah, this one is true. The nether star just flew away, but it didn't explode. Will lightning turn a red mushroom into a brown mushroom, similar to how it does that with the cows? Alright, let's just summon a lightning bolt, and no, this one isn't true. The mushroom is still red. Will looting work if the sword is in your offhand? So let's just put this sword right here, and we'll hold out another sword, and let's kill the mushroom cows with our diamond sword instead. Alright, that one just dropped 2 beef and 1 leather. What about this guy? Alright, 1 beef and 1 leather. I don't think it's true. Looting would give way more. Apparently, if you type excited ZE into the crafting table, it changes your language. And yeah, wait, everything is completely different. I'm pretty sure it changed my game to pirate language. What is this? Can a blaze light a campfire? So let's just get this blaze to shoot at us. Okay, yeah, he hit the campfire and it actually lit it up. This one is true. Apparently, you can infinitely tower with powdered snow buckets. So if we place one like this, and then we stand on the top, and then we place another, we can grab the first bucket from the bottom, and then build up like this, and then we can just keep doing this. And as you can see, this is true. You're able to infinitely tower with powdered snow. This is kind of cool. Apparently, there's a game rule that will completely disable the warden from spawning. And yeah, this is true. There's a game rule called do warden spawning, and if you set it to false, the warden will no longer be able to spawn in your world. Can a bee survive a hit from the warden? Alright, I honestly have no idea how this one would be true. I mean, how is a bee gonna survive an entire warden? Okay, it looks like the warden's found him. Oh, and he's getting angry. And no, the bee did not survive a hit from the warden. This one is false. Will a camel protect you from taking damage from a ravager? So let's saddle up our camel, and we'll just go in survival like this. And no, this one is not true. I'm still being hit by the ravager. If you jump on a cactus, you can jump 2 blocks high. Alright, so we've placed our cactus in our 2-block jump, and I'm assuming I just have to do this, and hopefully I'll be able to jump 2 blocks. Alright, I don't really know about this one, but I'm pretty sure that this works with fire, so let's just keep trying it. Come on, surely it'll let me jump 2 blocks. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad, but I'm gonna have to say this one is false. It's not working for me. Apparently, Skulk can't spread in water. So we have our Skulk catalysts right here, and let's kill this skeleton, and as you can see, the Skulk spreads, but apparently if there's water here, it won't spread, so we have to try this. Alright, let's just place water all over the Skulk, and we'll put down another skeleton, and this one's not true. I'm pretty sure I saw it spread. Yeah, this one isn't true. It's spreading underwater. Apparently, if you give an allay an item, it can't explode. So we have our allay right here, and we'll give him a diamond, and now let's place a ton of TNT all over the place, and we'll just put some diamonds here so we can go get them, and we'll light the TNT. The TNT didn't really hit him, but I didn't see him take damage. He just kind of got blown away, so I'm gonna say this one is true. Apparently, if you ender pearl and then go in the end, it'll send you back to the overworld. Okay, and we'll just throw an ender pearl all the way over here, and now let's go in the end, and it should TP us any second. Okay, yeah, this one is false. It would have TP'd us by now. Apparently, all cats in a witch hut spawn as black cats. So as you can see, there's already a black cat right here, and we'll spawn our cats in the witch hut, and yeah, they're all black cats. That's so crazy. And as you can see, if I go over here, they're just normal cats. So it's literally just the witch hut. Wow, that's so weird. Apparently in the new update, you can summon the white enderman with a command. So I'm typing the summon command, and I don't see anything coming up for white enderman. This one is false. Apparently ancient debris resembles an old warped log. So we have a warped log here, and as you can see, this is what it looks like, and here's an ancient debris beside it. Apparently this is supposed to be an old warped log. It doesn't really look like it on the sides, but the top looks pretty similar, so I don't really know if this one is true. You guys let me know if you think this resembles a warped log or not. I honestly don't know. Apparently there's a secret room under the village well. I'm pretty sure these village wells have been in Minecraft forever, so I'm pretty sure I would know about this if there was a secret room. And let's just mine the blocks out under here. I mean, there's a cave down here, but I'm pretty sure that's not a secret room. This one is false. Apparently there's a secret new deep dark villager. So let's just spawn a villager. And no, this is just a normal villager. There's no new deep dark villager in this game. I'm sorry. Apparently there's a secret room hidden under the igloo. So if we break this carpet here, there's supposed to be a hidden room somewhere under here. Wait, there's actually a trap door. And there's a ladder down to the bottom. What's down here? And yeah, there's actually a secret room down here, and it looks like there's a thing to cure a zombie villager down here. And you get this chest with a golden apple, so all you need is a weakness potion. Oh wait, you can actually get a weakness potion here too, so you can literally just cure this villager right here. That's so cool. Apparently sniffers can sniff for seeds in the end. So we have our sniffer right here, and let's see if he can find some seeds. Alright, he's sniffing the air. This might be true. Okay, he's been sniffing for a long time, and he hasn't found anything yet. I don't think this one is true. Apparently there's a new bat in the new update. So let's just spawn a bat right here. And yeah, this is actually a new bat. This looks so cool. Apparently you can now put items in a decorated pot. So we have our decorated pot right here, and let's just right click it with these diamonds, and it's doing something. Okay, now let's right click it to see if they're in the pot. Okay, I don't know, the pot's just kind of wiggling. Maybe we have to break the pot. And yeah, the diamonds came out of the pot. This one is true. You can put items in pots now. Can you break pots with arrows? Alright, let's just shoot the pot. And yeah, this one is true, but it only drops bricks. It doesn't drop the pot. And just to be clear, you can break pots with every projectile, not just arrows. Can you give a snow golem fire resistance? Alright, so we have our snow golem right here, and let's just splash him. And yeah, he has particles, but does this actually work? And yeah, the snowman is just swimming in lava and not dying. This is the weirdest thing I've seen. Does an evoker turn blue sheep red? Alright, so we have our blue sheep here. I don't really know why this one would work, but let's just spawn our evoker, and he's doing something. And the sheep actually turned red. What? Why doesn't this guy like blue sheep? Can you survive a 50 block fall with feather falling 4 boots? So let's just put feather falling on the boots, and now let's just fall down this 50 block platform. And no, I died. Apparently putting a pumpkin on your head stops endermen from attacking you completely. So we have our enderman right here, and let's just put a pumpkin on our head, and now let's fight the enderman. Okay, yeah, he's hitting me. This one is definitely not true. The enderman still attacks you when you have a pumpkin on your head. It's only good for looking at them. Apparently you need silk touch to mine a chiseled bookshelf. Okay, so we have a silk touch axe and a regular axe. Wait, it actually doesn't mine with the regular axe, and it mines with silk touch. Why is that a thing? I'm assuming that's a glitch, because that's really weird. Can a sniffer egg float? Yeah, it can float. Is there something the sniffers are hiding from us? Wait, will the egg hatch in the air? Okay, yeah, it does. I'm sorry, Snifflet. I didn't know it would work. Can the new mobs go upside down? Okay, so we have a dinner bone name tag, and yeah, it works for a sniffer, and it also works for a camel. This looks so weird. Can you breed bees with the new pink petals? Yeah, you can, but the only reason this works is because they're a flower. Can you put a baby sniffer in a boat? So we already tried with a big sniffer and it didn't work, but yeah, it works on a baby sniffer. This is true. Wait, maybe you can grow the sniffer in the boat. No, never mind. It just gets teleported out. Another mob that can't fit in a boat is a camel. But yeah, it also fits in a boat as a baby, although the same thing happens when you grow it, unfortunately. Can you bounce off of a slime? So obviously you can bounce off a slime block like this, but does it work on a slime? No, it doesn't work, but I don't understand why. They are both made from slime balls. Does string make lava quiet? So I turned subtitles on, and right now you can see the lava sound is being made. So let's put some string on the top, and yeah, for some reason the lava sound is gone. That's so weird. Can you shoot through a bamboo trapdoor? No, you can't. The giant hole isn't real, I guess. What about a cherry trapdoor? Yeah, if the bamboo one didn't work, there's no way that one was working. Striking a villager with lightning makes it a witch. Yeah, this one is true, and it really makes me wonder what striking a person with lightning does. Do parrots dance when you play music? Yeah, wait, they're going crazy. Unfortunately, this doesn't work when they're on your shoulder, though. Does Frostwalker work on armor stands? So let's just make this device real quick, and yeah, it turns all the water to ice. That's so cool. Oh, and I also just noticed that ice has a melting animation. I've never seen that before. Can you light 2 end portals at the same time? No, only one of the portals lights, but I don't really know when you would need this anyway. Can TNT boost an ender pearl? Okay, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, I don't know if it made it go any further, but it definitely got boosted. Do frogs eat silverfish? No, it doesn't look like they eat these guys. This one is false. Can you hoe dirt on top of a chest to open it? So we have dirt, and we have a chest, and as you can see, it can't be opened. And yeah, hoeing the dirt makes it open. This one is true. Can piglins use a totem of undying? Here you go, man. Take the shiny object. I think it has to be a baby, because the big ones are already holding something. And yeah, it actually works. The baby survives with a totem. You can light a campfire by setting yourself on fire. Alright, as you already know, don't try this at home. No, it doesn't work. I set myself on fire for nothing. Can you jump 9 blocks with these 3 potions? So we have speed, slow falling, and jump boost. And yeah, it works. I jumped 9 blocks. Apparently mobs can't climb azalea leaves, so I am able to climb these leaves just fine. But yeah, the stupid zombies can't get in. This one is true. Apparently 2 wardens can't kill a witch. So let's put a witch in a cage like this. And yeah, the wardens attack the witch, but it never dies because of its potions. It's true. Can you put powdered snow inside leaves? So everyone knows you can waterlog leaves like this, but what about powdered snow logging? No, you can't. It's false. Can a zombie piglin spawn riding a strider? So let's just spawn a bunch of striders. Yeah, it's true, and he even has a fishing rod thing to control them as well. Can you trap animals with trapdoors? So if we put a bunch of trapdoors like this, and then spawn some sheep inside, they shouldn't be able to escape. Yeah, they can't follow me. I guess we know why they're called trapdoors now. Does reinforced deep slate protect you from the warden? Okay, so I already have darkness. This isn't looking good. Okay, yeah, he hit me. This one is not true. You can run underwater with mud. This one sounds stupid, but yeah, it's true. Allays drop items on note blocks. Okay, so if we give him a diamond and then throw some diamonds over here, he should drop them on this note block. Yeah, it actually works. That's so cool. Can a dog survive a hit from the warden? So in order for this to work, I have to tame him. And yeah, it's true. The dog survives a hit. Can you make an iron golem underwater? No, you can't. What about a snow golem? Okay, yeah, the snow golem works, but I don't think he's making it out of the water. What about a wither? Yeah, this one is definitely not possible. I can't even place the heads. Do ocelots attack chickens? This one is kind of weird, but it's true. Oh, and they even sneak up on the chickens when they are really far away. That's kind of cool. Apparently a dog's tail shows how much health it has. So as you can see, his tail is all the way up. Now let's do some animal cruelty. And yeah, his tail is all the way back down. And you can even see that I healed him and his tail went back up. This is true. Can fish live in mangrove roots? Okay, that one didn't work, but yeah, it works when I click on the bottom. He's inside of the mangrove roots. Do pumpkin stems always face west? So if I place one pumpkin down, it's kind of facing west. It's more northwest though. And yeah, each one of the stems faces the same direction. This one is true. What about sunflowers? Do sunflowers always face the sun when you place them? So it looks like they're facing the sun right now, but let's try moving the sun. And no, they still face the same way. This one is false. Can you use eggs to break leads? Yes, you can, and this works with pretty much any projectile except for fishing rods. For some reason, they just do this. Apparently, bats don't drop XP. Alright, let's try to kill this guy with a bow. Wow, first try. Yeah, he didn't drop XP. This one is true. Can you kill blazes with water bottles? So I've heard of killing blazes with snowballs, but never water bottles. Yeah, it works, but it's gonna take a lot of water bottles to kill one of these guys, so a sword or an axe is a way better method. Can you use Frostwalker on a boat? Okay, so I have Frostwalker boots on, and no, this one isn't true. But why would you need a boat with Frostwalker anyway? Do llamas attack wolves? Okay, the wolf is literally sprinting away. And yeah, it's true. I didn't know llamas had any enemies. Except me, of course. Can you put a boat on top of your head? So let's just break this block. And yeah, I have a boat on top of my head now. Fashion has really been taken to new levels. Can you put armor on a villager? Yeah, he's taking way less damage now. This one is true. Does stained glass change the color of a warden's sonic boom? Okay, let's just provoke the warden again. No, this one isn't true. It's still blue. Do anvils bounce off slime blocks? Alright, let's drop the anvil. No, they do not, unfortunately. Can a group of wardens blast away the ender dragon? Alright, let's spawn a ton of wardens. Yeah, it's true. They sent him flying. Apparently nether fences can't connect to other fences. So if you have two types of wood fences, they'll connect like this. But when you place nether fences, it doesn't work. That's so strange. Apparently you can't sleep while poisoned. Also, don't try this at home. No poisoning yourself. Yeah, this one is true. It just kicks me out of the bed. Can you shear a goat for a goat horn? I really doubt this works. It makes no sense. Yeah, you can't do this. You just gotta wait for them to ram into you. Can you escape phantoms by going underwater? Nope, it looks like these guys can swim as well. If they weren't already annoying enough. I guess the only option to get rid of them is by sleeping. Do foxes get stuck in snow when chasing chickens? First it's the ocelots killing chickens, and now it's foxes. Everybody hates these guys. But yeah, they get stuck in the snow for a second when chasing them. That's kind of funny. Apparently ghasts can't swim. Okay, it's definitely not true. He is still chasing me underwater. Can you look at enderman through glass? So this is me looking at an enderman without glass. Not good. And this is me looking at one with glass. Yeah, he doesn't attack me anymore. It's true. Does naming a Vindicator Johnny make him attack all mobs? This one is kind of strange. I don't know what Johnny did. But yeah, it's true. For some reason he goes on a rampage. Can you stack two types of slabs? So apparently if I put two slabs like this against the world border and then push them together, it will make a cursed slab. Yeah, it does. That's so weird. Do cats take no fall damage? I'm pretty sure this is a thing in real life, so it's probably true. Yeah, it's true. He just eats that fall. Will tadpoles follow you if you hold a slime ball? So we know that this works with frogs, and yeah, it also works with tadpoles. This one is true. Can a warden survive a max height fall? Yeah, it's true. He survived. I guess cats and wardens are the same thing. Do potions of healing hurt undead mobs? Yeah, it's true, and the opposite works as well. You can heal undead mobs with harming potions. Can you breathe underwater with torches? So everybody knows you can breathe underwater with doors like this, but what about torches? Okay, it kinda works, but the torches break, so it's not technically true. Can you bridge to the outer end islands? So obviously I could sit here and bridge like this, but that's boring. I'm just gonna fly instead. Yeah, it's true. You don't even need to kill the ender dragon to get here. Although it's probably faster. That was like 1,000 blocks. Apparently camels can make a 12-block jump. Yeah, it's true, they need this guy in the NBA. But now let's see if a camel can protect you from the ender dragon. This is kind of a weird situation. How would a camel even get to the end? But yeah, it actually works, but it's not looking good for my camel. Are beehives more common in cherry grove biomes? Okay, there's literally 3 of them right here. It's definitely true. Does weakness stop you from being able to attack mobs? Okay, so I can still attack mobs when I have weakness, but when I punch the mobs, it doesn't work. So this one is kind of true. Apparently you can't attack a camel's head. This one seems kind of weird. I'm sorry, camel, if this doesn't work. Oh, it's actually true. How is this possible? Can you put armor trims on an elytra? No, you cannot. What about armor trims on a turtle shell? You actually can, and this thing looks really cool. I'm definitely gonna start wearing turtle helmets. Can you breed camels with cactuses? Alright, let's just feed them both some sharp objects. And yeah, somehow this one actually works. Do all camels run the same speed? So everyone knows that each horse moves at a different speed, but does this also work for camels? Okay, it's been 10 seconds and he made it here. Now it's time to try a different camel. Okay, it's the exact same speed. This one isn't true. Using the seed sniffer spawns you near a ruin with a sniffer egg in it. Okay, we got an ocean, but it's not a warm ocean. This one is false. Do hanging signs fit less text than a regular sign? So there's 60 characters on a regular sign, and there's only 40 characters on a hanging sign. This one is true. Is there a secret room in a desert well? No, it doesn't look like it. What about in a jungle temple? I mean, yeah, there's a hidden room, but it wasn't added in 1.20, so I'm gonna say this is false. Can you shoot projectiles through a nether portal? Okay, it doesn't seem to have gone through, but let's check. There's no way to really tell. We need a wall. And yeah, there's actually arrows on the other side. This one is true. Do piglins wear mob heads? There's no way this one is actually true. This looks so funny. Wait, what if you use a piglin head on a piglin? Okay, this one is really cursed. He has double ears. Powdered snow stops you from burning in the nether. Don't try this at home, guys. And yeah, it works, but you don't get to keep the snow. It's a one-time use. Wait, if it stops burning in the nether, you can probably clutch with it as well. Yeah, this one is true, and it also doesn't melt. Can you light a nether portal with a bed? This one is true, but it's just the explosion doing it, not the bed. Does a cursive binding book get stuck in a bookshelf? No, it doesn't. I can still take it out. Do jukeboxes emit particles when you play music? Yeah, this one is true. I've never seen this before. Can you die from dehydration in Minecraft? Obviously, there's no thirst meter in Minecraft, but apparently with this command, it will say you died of dehydration. Yeah, it's true. I guess I gotta start drinking some liquids. Can you make a giant cherry tree? Okay, it doesn't grow into one giant tree. And yeah, that doesn't really look that much bigger than normal either. Are emeralds more common in cherry biomes? I don't really know how to test this one, but I'm seeing some emeralds, so at least they do spawn in a cherry biome. I have no idea if they're more common here though. Does a camel fit in a boat? No, it does not. This guy is way too big. What about a sniffer? A sniffer also doesn't fit in a boat. This is sad. He'll never be able to become a pirate. Apparently there's a new way to get command blocks. So if you click on options and go to controls, you can enable operator items tab. And yeah, now when you're in creative, there's this new tab with all sorts of blocks you had to use /give for before. Does a sniffer egg survive being hit by an anvil? So if you do this to turtle eggs, this is what happens. So I wonder if the same thing happens with sniffer eggs. Yeah, the sniffer egg somehow survives, that's insane, but the anvil doesn't drop this time. What about TNT? Okay, it's not that strong. RIP Snifflets. Does waterlogging a skulk shrieker stop it from making noise? Yeah, it's not making noise. I wonder if this also stops the warden from spawning. No, it does not. Does killing an elder guardian drop an armor trim? Okay, nothing so far. And yeah, tied armor trim. These guys can also drop fish, which is kind of weird. I don't think they are fish. Is there a hidden gold block in the new trail ruin structure? Okay, so I definitely meant to do what just happened, and I don't really see any gold blocks here. I'm gonna say it's false. Do diamonds spawn under the middle of trail ruins? Okay, so this looks like the center. Let's dig down. There's no diamonds, it's false. Everyone knows you can name a sheep Jeb and it turns rainbow, but does this work for a sniffer? No, it doesn't. What about naming a camel? No, this one also doesn't work. I guess we're stuck with regular mobs. Can piglins open doors? Wait, they actually can. That's so cool. Can you break bamboo blocks faster with a sword? Okay, so this is with a fist, and this is with a sword. I don't think it's any different. Apparently, XP bottles can make a block of redstone or glow. Yeah, it's actually glowing, and that's a lot of particles. You can also just do this by right-clicking it, though. The XP bottles don't really matter. Apparently, there is blue magma in Minecraft 1.20. Oh my god, there actually is. No way. It's definitely not fake. Do torch flowers emit light just like torches? Oh wait, I probably need to turn off full bright. No, it's still really dark in here. The torch doesn't mean anything. Can you use a brush on a dragon egg? So when you right-click a dragon egg, normally it teleports away. But what if you use a brush? No, it still teleports away. I guess you can't clean your dragon eggs. Can you put armor trims on horse armor? No, unfortunately you can't give your horse some drip. If you put a flower into a crafting space, it turns into a single color of dye, but apparently you can craft a pitcher plant into 2 dyes. Yeah, this is true. I guess the flower is just so big it gives you 2 dyes instead. Is rain invisible through black glass? So this is what rain looks like through regular glass. You can still see it. And this is what it looks like with black glass. This one is true. I wonder if it also works on snow. Yeah, it does. Can you dye the highlighted part on the new decorated pot? No, it's still yellow. This one isn't true. Is there a new bamboo village in the jungle biome? Okay, so when I use /locate, I'm not really seeing anything that would be a bamboo village. And I'm also not seeing anything in this jungle. This one is probably false. Can you smelt netherite armor and tools into netherite scraps? So everyone knows you can do this with gold and iron armor and tools, but it doesn't seem to be working with netherite armor or tools, so it's false. I don't see why you would ever need to do this anyways, so that's probably why. Can you dry a wet sponge using a campfire? Okay, so you can't place the sponge on the campfire, so this is already not looking good. Yeah, the steak is cooked and the sponge is still wet. I don't think it's true. Is there a new cherry dimension in 1.20? Yeah, I think it's kind of obvious that this one isn't true. Wait, never mind guys, 100% real cherry dimension. Apparently sniffers can't drown because their eggs come from the water. Okay, he's sniffing the water. Maybe this one is true. Never mind, this is definitely not true. I'm also not gonna help him out of the water. I'm a hater. You can plant mangrove trees underwater. So if you place a regular sapling here, it just breaks. But yeah, the mangrove propagule can be placed underwater. Are phantoms afraid of cats? So let's place a bunch of phantoms down, and now we'll get some cats. And yeah, the phantoms don't seem to be attacking me. Also, this noise is terrifying. What is that? Can you clutch on a sniffer? So these guys look kind of soft, so hopefully this works. Okay, it definitely doesn't work. This is false. Can you put horse armor on a camel? No, you can't. And even if you could, you wouldn't be able to use the saddle, so it would suck anyway. Are villagers able to sleep in the nether? Yeah, this one is true. These guys somehow don't make the bed explode. Whoops, I didn't think that would happen. Apparently, the warden isn't actually blind. So in spectator mode, you can see what any mob sees by left-clicking on it, and that includes the warden, who is definitely able to see from what I'm seeing. Apparently, you can't name a mob name tag. Yeah, so you can't even name a name tag, but you can do it like this, so I guess it's false? Oh wait, I actually just found a way to do it technically. Does a potion of luck change the loot inside a chest? So this is the loot in the chest right now, and now I have the luck effect. And it's the same loot in the chest. This is false. You can make a minecart that infinitely moves. So apparently if you stack a bunch of minecarts in each other, they will never stop moving. Yeah, this one is true, and it's also really weird. Why does this work? Apparently a camel can survive a 50-block fall. Sorry man, I gotta do this. It's actually true, it somehow lived, but now can I survive the fall while riding a camel? Okay, this one isn't true. The camel did not absorb my fall. Can a camel prevent you from being hit by mobs? This one is true. They're not hitting me. But I'm curious if this also works on the warden. Okay, it actually doesn't look like he can hit me. Wow, the warden's getting a little close. Naming your seed Cherry Blossom spawns you in a Cherry Blossom biome. It's true, but it's the smallest Cherry Blossom biome I've ever seen. Are all sheep pink in a Cherry Blossom biome? This one isn't true, but let's just pretend it is. It looks a lot better this way. Can you undye leather armor using a cauldron? Wow, this one is actually true. And you can also dye wool that is already dyed. This one is true as well, and you can do it with every colorable item, just to be clear. Apparently you can swap your elytra out without opening your inventory. This one is true, but you better carry a water bucket with you just in case. Does a bamboo raft move faster than a regular boat? So this is me riding both of the boats. It doesn't look like the bamboo one is any faster. This is false. Can you clutch on a camel? You can clutch on a horse, so this should be possible. As long as I don't mess this up, of course. And yes, you can do it. This makes up for him killing me earlier. You can dye a camel's saddle. Nope, this one isn't true, but it would be cool if it was. Apparently, mobs can't jump over hanging signs. So I've placed a fence of hanging signs around me, and now let's see if all these zombies can get to me. Okay, they can. This one is definitely not true. If you place a hanging sign like this, apparently mobs can't follow you through it. And it's true. Who knew zombies were this stupid? The nether portal animation is fixed in 1.20. So this is what the animation used to look like, and now it's supposed to stop the animation from playing again when you go through. Yes, this one is true. Can a piglin head prevent you from being attacked by piglins? No, it can't. We've already seen this. They don't accept me. What about if you wear armor with a gold trim on it? Nope, it appears I still have a 5-star wanted level. What about if you wear gold armor with a trim on it? Okay, this one was obviously gonna work. They gotta respect a man with some drip. A piglin head flops its ears when it's powered by redstone. This one is true, and also kinda weird. Does this mean mobs are powered by redstone? Apparently a dragon head can now open its mouth. This one is also true. I honestly have no idea if this one is new or not though. I don't usually wear a dragon's head. There is a new Vex in Minecraft 1.20. So this is what an old Vex used to look like. Kinda scary if you ask me. And this is the new Vex. This one is true. It kinda looks like an evil Allay. Speaking of evil Allays, does the new Vex attack Allays? Okay, it doesn't really look like they attack each other. They're just chilling. Does a sniffer egg hatch faster on moss? So here's my egg on moss, and here's the regular egg. Now we just wait. And yeah, this one is true. The egg on moss hatched way faster. You can make a sniffer carpet. This is actually just from my build hacks video. It's not really a myth. No sniffers were harmed in the making of... No, actually they were. I'm not gonna lie. Can you ride a sniffer? So my right click says you can't, but this command says I can. But since you can't do it without cheats, I'm going to say it's false. You can heal camels with cactuses. I can't imagine this one is true because of what I'm seeing right now. Okay, never mind. He somehow eats that. That's true. You are able to sprint on camels. This one is true, but you might not notice it if you use toggle sprint since it just sprints by default. Can sniffers dig for seeds in the nether? He's sniffing the air. I wonder what he's got a hold of. Okay, just ignore that. I don't know how that got here. Yeah, this one is false. He isn't digging for anything. Apparently there's a new built-in resource pack. Yes, there is high contrast mode, but all it really does is edit the UI and nothing else changes. Jukeboxes can emit a redstone signal. Let's just pick out some quality music here. Yep, this one is true, and I may have also summoned Herobrine. If you punch a decorated pot, it won't break. Yes, this one is true. It just drops the pot instead of the shards. And speaking of shards, can you copy them like an armor template? No, this one unfortunately isn't true. You're gonna have to find these manually. Are you able to craft a plain pot using just bricks? Okay, it's a good thing I'm bricked up for this myth. Yes, this one is true. I now have a lot of plain pots. Apparently you can get the ward armor trim for killing the warden. Okay, this is taking way too long. I'm just using the command. No, he still drops the skulk thing, whatever it is. The new damage looks like bedrock. Yeah, this is true, unfortunately. I don't really like how this looks. Also, you can apparently change the amount of shake when you get hit. Okay, this one is also true, and this looks even weirder, honestly. It kind of looks like I'm in Spectator. Can you get apples from a cherry wood tree? Okay, so far this one isn't looking good. Yeah, I broke all the leaves on the tree and not a single apple. This one is false. Apparently, you can now edit signs. Okay, yeah, I already knew this one was true, and along with editing signs, you are also able to write on the back of them. And you can right-click them with a honeycomb, and it makes it so you can't edit them anymore. That one I actually didn't know. That's pretty interesting. Do chiseled bookshelves increase enchantment levels? Okay, so we have filled them all with books. Now let's see if it increases the levels. Nope, this one isn't true. Can you fill chiseled bookshelves using hoppers? Yes, you can do this, and apparently you can also put plants in pots using hoppers. Okay, I don't think it's true. There's a new cherry blossom villager variant. No, there isn't, which means there probably isn't a cherry blossom village either. But it would definitely be cool if they added one, because this biome is a little boring. Can you use silk touch to mine suspicious blocks? Okay, so we tried it on gravel and it didn't work, and it also doesn't work on sand. This is false. Apparently there is a new potion of luck in Minecraft. There actually is a potion of luck. When applied, +1 luck. I don't really know what that means, but hopefully it doesn't turn me into a leprechaun. Can you transport pets on a camel? So I don't really know how you would do this. I'm assuming my dog would just get on the camel, and it isn't. So this one is false. Are you able to swim on a camel? Okay, it's kind of working, but he's sinking slowly, and yeah, it kicked me off. I want to say this one is false, but it's also kind of true, because he can swim for a second, so I don't know. If you put a mob head above a note block, it will play a sound from that mob. Yeah, this one is true, and it works for every mob, including the skeleton. that was definitely real. Another thing you can apparently do is optimize your world. Yeah, this one is true, but I don't really know what it does. I think it's supposed to be for older worlds, because it didn't really seem to do anything. Can a sniffer survive a hit from the warden? Okay, so we have our sniffer and our warden. We just gotta wait for this guy to find him. He's kinda blind. Okay, the sniffer died in one hit. This one isn't true. But what about a camel? Can a camel survive a warden? We just gotta wait for this again. Oh, and it actually worked. A camel can survive one hit from the warden. Camels really are just built different. Does spawning a cow in a cherry blossom biome make it a mulip? No, it does not. Is there a secret room in the desert temple? Yes, there actually is in the back corner, and this is what it looks like. Are there new potions in Minecraft? So the potions aren't new, but all the colors are changed, and I'm honestly not a fan of this. Like, why is night vision green? Who did this? You no longer have to spam place paintings. Yeah, all the paintings are now selectable by their variant, so now it's a lot easier to get which one you want. This isn't really a thing in survival though, so you're still stuck spam placing them if that's the case. Is the bundle in Minecraft 1.20? There is still no bundle in the creative inventory, but you can still give it to yourself with a command. I wonder when they will finally add this thing. Apparently hanging signs don't break when you break their supporting block. Yeah, this one is true. How is this even possible? This is definitely an illegal building technique. Apparently armor stands now have arms. Okay, so the logic behind this one is that it has arms in a smithing table. But no, the armor stand doesn't have arms. Does landing on a sniffer egg break it? No, either the sniffer egg is really strong or I'm not heavy enough. It's probably the first one. Can you ride a baby camel? No, you can't, unfortunately. But can you put chests on a camel? You also can't do this, but you'd think a mob this strong would be able to do that. Apparently frogs follow you if you hold slime balls. Okay, so I don't think this one is 1.20 related, and I also can't even tell if it's true. Yeah, it's probably true. He seems to be following me. There is a new way to change your GUI scale. Apparently if you hold control and scroll at the same time, it changes your GUI scale. Okay, so nothing is happening right now, but what if we try it in the options menu? Now it's working. Yeah, this one is true, but you're already in the options menu, so it's not really that cool. Apparently harming potions ignore armor. So that did 5.5 hearts. Now let's put armor on. Yeah, it did the same amount of damage. I guess armor is just useless. Apparently you can trap and kill the warden with powdered snow. Alright, he's trapped. And it's working, he's dying. Okay, this is kind of sad. I'm gonna help him out. Apparently you can repair an iron golem. Oh, I can't hurt this one. Sorry, bro. Wait, it actually repairs him. I almost certainly thought this one was fake. It sounds so stupid. Apparently you can sleep underwater. Let's just make it night. Wait, how does this work? Bro, I'm amphibious or something. What? You can make a 2-block jump with a bubble column. I'm going higher, but it's not 2 blocks. Oh, you have to run at it for it to work. And it's actually pretty consistent when you have the timing. Hitting a mob through fire sets the mob on fire. Nope. Pretty sure I would have known about this if it was true. You can shoot fire arrows through the bottom of a lava cauldron. Wait, it works. You just have to angle it right. This is sick. As you know, you can block a beacon by placing a block above it, but apparently the beacon's beam can go through bedrock. Here it is with stone. As you can see, it blocks it. Now we'll try bedrock. What? I guess stone is stronger than bedrock now. That's so weird. Reinforced deep slate drops with silk touch. This is gonna take a while. I better not be getting trolled. We're almost there, and it did nothing. Nice. Apparently you can put thorns on an armor stand. So I have a full set of thorns 3 armor. Let's put it on the stand. No, I'm not taking any damage. I kinda wish this one was true though, it would be cool. Prismarine blocks change colors. Alright, time to stare at a block. It actually looks like it's changing. I think this is true. Yeah, there's actually a huge difference between the two. Striders can protect you from baby zombies. Let's get on this guy, and we'll go survival. Yeah, they can't hit me. I'm invincible. No baby zombie can ever kill me again. Apparently you can light 2 portals inside of each other. Alright, we have a weird portal. Oh, that would have been so cool. Mojang, please add this in 1.20. We need double portals. Mobs can't kill you in sugarcane. Let's put some zombies and a skeleton. Now I will set my game mode. I don't think it worked. This would be cool if it was true though. You get more experience from fortune. So I have a default pickaxe and a fortune 3 pickaxe. No fortune gave me almost 10 levels. And I got less levels with fortune. This one isn't true. Spiders can climb the world border. Not too sure about this one. Oh wait, he's doing the thing. Spider climbing the world border. Where will he go? Actually, when will he stop? This is getting dangerous. Apparently spiders also infinitely climb the world border. Apparently you can ignite TNT with a fishing rod. Now we just fish through the lava. Yeah, it works. I guess there is a reason to fish in lava now. Apparently you can also pull TNT towards you with the fishing rod. Yeah, it works. I have no idea why this would be useful, but it's cool. You can put a boat in a minecart. Wait, what? Why does that work? I'm pressing W and going backwards. This is so weird. Wait, what if I put a boat in a minecart in a minecart? Oh, it doesn't work. Apparently you can dodge Sonic Boom. Nope. Still no. Oh, you can. It's just hard because you have to do it really fast. Undead mobs don't burn underneath cobwebs. So I trapped a zombie and a skeleton in a hole. Let's set it to day. Wait, they're actually not burning. And as you can see, these guys are burning. This one is somehow true. This doesn't even make sense. Apparently ghasts can't see you behind cobwebs. I'm trapping myself in cobwebs. I don't think it worked, guys. Oh, not the underwater bed. Apparently rain kills snow golems. Flash weather rain. Wow, I've never seen something die so fast. Yeah, this one's true. You can kill the ender dragon with snowballs. I can't tell if I'm missing or if it doesn't work. Yeah, I don't think it's working. It's weird though because they aren't even hitting the dragon. Coal blocks last longer than 9 coal in a furnace. Time for some waiting. 9 coal finished first. I guess it's actually worth it to craft coal blocks. Holding control while using pick block gives you a chest with the same items. Now we have a ton of useful loot in this chest. And we just hold control. Yeah, it actually works. Awkward splash potions stop fire damage. Don't try this at home, guys. Nope, I'm still on fire. You can't spawn a wither in a snow biome. This one is true. I have no idea why, but it does work. Apparently you can MLG into a cauldron. Okay, I gotta line myself up perfectly. Nope, that's unfortunate. Apparently if you hold crouch, you can MLG on leaves in 1.19. Alright, I'm holding crouch. Nope, it still waterlogs it. Can you burn waterlogged leaves? It won't let me set them on fire. Yeah, it doesn't look like they can burn. Apparently polar bears attack foxes. I think it's true, but he's gonna have to catch him. I don't think the polar bear is fast enough. Alright, I'm gonna cut the video before the fox gets hurt. Oh. Apparently you can give a boat a name tag. Let's name it something cool and original. Oh yeah, I have to crouch. It's not working. Maybe we have to name the boat. Guys, please just do it. No, it still won't work. It's just a boat. Apparently deep slate ores give more XP. Okay, we got 8.5 levels from regular. And we got 9 levels from deep slate. Since the amount of XP you get is random, I don't think this is a big enough difference for it to be true. You can fish in a cauldron. Whoops. Yeah, there's no way I'm fishing anything out of here. You can't fish in a cauldron, but can you put fish in a cauldron? Nope, it just goes on top. Although sometimes the fish will go in the cauldron for a second. Killing a wither skeleton with a charged creeper always drops a skull. Oh, we gotta be quick here. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Either my luck is insane or this one is true. You can smelt nether gold into a gold ingot. Wait, it's smelting. Yeah, it works. I guess this should have been obvious, but you do only get a few nuggets from breaking it, so I wasn't sure. Apparently you can clutch with a skulk vein. Ow. No, you can't. Hostile mobs do not spawn in mushroom biomes. It's nighttime and I don't see anything spawning. Alright, there would definitely be mobs by now. This one is true. Apparently you can't milk a mushroom cow. Nope, you still can. And you can also milk them for soup. You can make a car in Minecraft. So if I put a pig in a minecart, it's supposed to be like a car. Well, I can only move backwards and I move very slowly, but I guess it's a car? Just like you can break an end portal frame, you can break bedrock with a giant mushroom. Nope, the bedrock is still there. I wonder why it works with end portal frames and not bedrock. Apparently bees can pollinate netherwort. No, it doesn't look like it. If you give a wither skeleton a bow, it will shoot fire arrows. So if I type this crazy command, I get a wither skeleton with a bow. And yeah, it's shooting fire arrows. That's terrifying. You can use gold nuggets as fuel in a furnace. No, you can't. I think you can in bedrock though. Apparently if you give a fox frostwalker boots, it will turn water to ice. We just need him to touch water. Nope, it doesn't work. I'm gonna need these back. Apparently you can't lose hunger on a boat. Okay, I'm giving myself hunger 200. It doesn't appear to be working. But if I don't have the hunger effect, it seems to be true. Apparently there's an infinite flower glitch. Yo, we're printing money. Wolves hunt down skeletons. So if I put this skeleton in a box... Oh, get out of here. So if I put a skeleton out of sight, apparently a wolf will hunt for it. I don't think it's working. Maybe it has to be my dog? Nah, he's just vibing. If you put a Jeb underscore name tag on a dog, apparently its collar becomes rainbow. So this should happen just with the collar instead. No, it didn't work. It just names your dog Jeb. Apparently, Endermen are not able to teleport out of a 2-block hole. Alright, he's in the 2-block hole. Nope, that happened instantly. The Warden's Sonic Boom ability apparently ignores armor. Here's me using no armor. Okay, it did 2.5 hearts. Here's me with full netherite now. Wait, it did 3 hearts. It did more damage. What? Okay, apparently you also can't block Sonic Boom with a shield. What? No way, as if the Warden wasn't already powerful enough. Does mud dry out in the nether? No, it does not. Well, at least not instantly. Can mud be used to put out fire damage? Time to set myself on fire. Don't try this at home. Nope, I'm still on fire. Apparently 1.19 added jungle villages. Okay, I'm using /locate, and these are the only village types available. There are no jungle villages. There aren't jungle villages, but apparently there are jungle villagers. Wait, no way, that's so sick. Apparently there are also swamp villagers. What? No way, it's like a non-mean looking witch. Why are these in the game with no villages? You can use reinforced deep slate to trap the wither. Now we spawn the wither. Will it get out? No, it seems to be stuck. Even in survival, it won't come get me. But I guess this would only be useful if you could mine reinforced deep slate, but it's still cool. If you place your own shrieker, it can't spawn a warden. So I've placed my own shrieker. And yeah, it's been 3 times, and nothing has happened. This one is true. Apparently, there's a new portal in the deep dark. Let's light this. Wait, what? Okay, obviously I'm joking. This is a texture pack. Apparently, you can heal Vexes into LAs by giving them milk. Alright, I'm giving him milk and nothing is happening. This one is fake. Can you use goat horns to call goats over to you? He's looking at me. No, it does not work. He's not coming over here. Do you need Silk Touch to mine a Skulk Sensor? Alright, nothing dropped with no Silk Touch. And it drops with Silk Touch. This one is true. Okay, I found out I'm supposed to use a hoe and not a pickaxe. I don't want to hear it. You can now place water inside of leaves. So just like a sign or a slab, I should be able to do this on leaves. Yes, it works, and it doesn't even flow out either. That's so cool. Swift Sneak makes dive mining faster. So that was me mining without Swift Sneak. And yeah, I mean I move faster, but it doesn't make me mine any faster, so I would say this one isn't true. If you spawn a frog in a jungle, it becomes a poisonous frog. Alright, here's the smallest jungle ever. Spawning a frog. Nope, it does not seem to be poisonous. Apparently, LAs can mine diamonds for you. So if I give an LA diamond ore, it's supposed to mine diamonds for me. Nope, this obviously wasn't going to work, but it can collect diamonds for you. If you listen to the new music disc in the deep dark, it spawns Herobrine. Okay, we have our jukebox and the music disc. Let's see. I don't really see anything around here. Oh my god! There's nothing. Herobrine was removed a long time ago, guys. Right? The new music disc can be used to light the portal in the deep dark. Nope, nothing is happening. And this disc is scary. I'm turning it off. You can't spawn a warden on the surface. Well, since you can't spawn a warden using your own shrieker, it's impossible for one to spawn on the surface. Frogs will eat magma cubes and drop a frog light. Oh, this one's true. Not these guys though, they're too big. Apparently you can find skeleton skulls in an ancient city. Dang, I really thought one would be here. Oh, there's one over here. It's true. Blowing up ores now gives you experience. I think I used too much TNT. Let's try just one. And it works, the XP dropped. Furnace minecarts now work like regular furnace blocks. Alright, I'm right clicking it and nothing is happening. Let's try it with food in my hand. Still nothing, this one doesn't work. Apparently tadpoles are scared of axolotls. Wow, the axolotl's going crazy. It doesn't look like the tadpole is afraid though. The warden is lava proof apparently. It's true. The warden is even more powerful than I thought. You can use water to silence skulk sensors. Yeah, it's making no noise, but there's still the pulse thingy. And as you can see, the redstone works, but it's making no sound. Apparently the moo bloom was added in 1.19. Oh guys, look, it's the moo bloom. No way, no way. Apparently mobs now spawn inside of nether portals. So I've built a portal on the nether roof, so they should have the best chance of spawning here. Okay, this one might be true, but it's going to take forever if it is. Can Alays use a totem of undying? We'll just put some lava. Nope, we'll put some lava. Wow, this guy's fast. Okay, we finally got him. And it worked. He used the totem to survive. That's crazy. You can place structures with the command in 1.19. Alright, /structure doesn't work. Okay, it's /place structure. And yeah, you can place any structure just like this. Just like this. Now you can beat the game in super flat. There are new secret paintings in 1.19, so you just do this command, and this should be a new painting. Yeah, it works. There are also 3 other new paintings you can get with this command. Apparently you sink in mud just like powdered snow. I don't appear to be sinking. It does lower you by like 0.1 of a block though. Using Riptide on a trident while riding a boat makes you go faster. Alright, let's get in a boat. Nope, I can't even use a trident in a boat. It doesn't even let me right click. The fletching table can now be used to make tipped arrows. Alright, I'm right clicking on it and nothing is happening. Let's try it in survival. Still nothing. Even with an arrow, it still doesn't work. This one isn't true. Apparently tropical fish spawn in mangrove swamps. I'm kind of lost in here. This biome is so cool. Oh wait, those are tropical fish, right? Yep, so it's true. Minecraft now apparently has directional audio. So you go to music and sounds, and yeah, there's directional audio. And as you can see, it works. Well, as you can hear, it works. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear it properly on the video, but I am confirming it works. Can you distract the warden with XP bottles? He does seem to be distracted by them, but it doesn't seem to work in survival. You can name locations with a banner. So you just name the banner, and then you right click with a map. That didn't work. Oh, so it has to be an existing map. Yeah, that's really cool actually. Apparently you can put a chest in a boat now. So if I right click this boat, nothing happens, but you can craft it. Now I have a chest on my boat, that's sick. You can find diamond armor in the ancient city. Nope. Nothing. There's iron armor. Still nothing. There it is, diamond leggings. Curse of binding, but it's still diamond. Oh, hello warden. Apparently you can spawn fireflies with a command. I'm using /summon and there are no fireflies. There's a game rule to disable the warden. There actually is a command for it. And as you can see, no warden spawns. This is really cool. Well, if you're a baby. I mean, I would probably use it though. Apparently baby pandas can sneeze out a slime ball. We've got 1 million pandas here. I'm hearing them sneeze, but no slime balls. Okay, so apparently I have to spawn lazy pandas? Yeah, I've been waiting for a while and there are still no slime balls, so I don't know. You can use a book to spawn infinite dimensions. So all I have to do is throw the book in here. Nope, we're still in the nether. Okay, so this was actually from an April Fool's snapshot. I'm stupid. There's a secret redstone room under the ancient city. There is one. Okay, I already knew this, but maybe some people didn't, so here you go. Perfect place to get random redstone stuff. Apparently vines and glow lichen can be placed on soul sand, and it looks like you can. I have no idea why you couldn't do this before 1.19. Apparently walking on wool makes the skulk sensor not hear you. Yes, so this is one of the main features of the skulk sensor, and as you can see, it is true. Apparently there are alligators in 1.19. Of course there are alligators in 1.19, that's one of the main features. Apparently mangrove trees don't have saplings. Mangrove trees do not have saplings. You have to use these weird propagale things to grow them instead. Apparently the bundle has been added to 1.19, so there is no bundle in the creative menu, but I can give it to myself, but since there is still no way to obtain it, I would say this is false. Apparently minecarts with an attached block now stay together when you break them. Oh, it's actually true. I'm pretty sure this never used to exist, that's cool. Apparently you can use cheats in survival without enabling them. So as you saw, I made a world with cheats off. Yeah, it does nothing. I don't know why this would work. Apparently there's an advancement for killing a mob near a skulk catalyst. Let's just kill this guy quickly. Yeah, it spreads as the advancement. Apparently there's also an advancement for having every frog light in your inventory. Yep, there's also an advancement for that.